you're going to continue to drag my name through the mud. You're going to continue to be who you are.
This is such like a it's very email.
Anime. Yeah, it's very anime back and forth.
Drag my name through the mud. I'm sorry I ripped everything wide open. Okay, do you think Illuminati is nervously pacing around her room right now? Like, oh, part 2? Or do you think she's like, I'm gonna go through with it? Because I think at this point, even if they show everything about, like, even if part 2 comes out, will her reputation really get worse? Like, everybody already
What
thinks
can
she's
they
scum.
show?
It will just be more like lolcow content. We've got a new allegation, and it's not regarding me. It's involving somewhat of a channel classic for us, boys and girls. Illuminati. Everyone here knows Illuminati. Chat, everyone knows Illuminati, okay? Let's just be real. Everyone remembers the Illuminati drama. Popular leftist YouTuber who lost her entire career when she called out Legal Eagle for plagiarism. It turned out she was wrong, but as a result, a bunch of people came out against her, and her reputation was completely lost. And since then, her channel completely died. She used to be one of the biggest sort of video essay channels on YouTube. You can see back here, she was getting a ton of views a year ago. I mean, averaging over, I'd say over 200K, 300K, some of them getting 1 million views. She was posting multiple times a week. And now you go to the present, and her channel completely died. It's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal. Now, one of the people, Oz Media, has been talking about the Illuminati thing. He's being sued by her right now. He's made a video before talking about it a little bit, but he recently posted an hour-long reaction, or not reaction, sorry. He posted an hour-long video discussing the lawsuit. And on top of that, I was also named in this lawsuit, believe it or not. I was mentioned. Turkey Tom mentioned, Tom Dark mentioned. As far as I'm concerned, we were mentioned. Here we have a screenshot from the thing, okay? And you can see there, the satisfying downfall of Illuminati, posted November 11th, 2023 by Internet Anarchists with more than 2.1 million views. The worst commentary creator on YouTube, posted May 22nd, 2023 by Turkey Tom with more than 2.6 million views. And Illuminati exposed the dark story behind YouTube's worst critic, posted May 17th, 2023 by iNabber with more than 1.2 million views. And I believe the argument being made here is that due to the actions of Oz Media and several other people, Illuminati was defamed and she lost her career as a result of the internet. Now, it's been a while since we were in this drama, okay? So there's definitely details I forgot, there's details you forgot. So we're going to be kind of going into this a little bit fresh with this reaction. I'll probably misremember some details. But I probably will be doing a video follow-up talking about everything that's happened with Illuminati since my initial video, and then talking about the lawsuit on my main channel. So for now, we're just going to give a very fresh eyes reaction and just see what we can glean from a first viewing, right? From a first viewing.
Did you mean to be in this server?
Yes, I
Why
did.
Are you here?
I'm waiting for someone to call in so I can talk to them.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know.
You think I just accidentally joined this call?
Yeah, I thought you accidentally just joined the server.
How do you accidentally join a Discord call?
You flick on air and you just accidentally
That's such
join.
a specific thing. There's an audio cue that tells me I'm on air.
Okay, whatever, dude. Whatever.
I'm not taking call-ins right now, so if you're getting waiting, it's over for you. Anyway, it's time to watch this video. Bro said Sawi. Leave Smaggle Daggle alone, okay? He's helped the show. He's helped the show more than you could ever know. Dear Illuminati, 1 hour and 7 minutes. I'm about to lock in right now. You guys know. This is the only thing that gets me through these videos, bro. When it's time I have a 7-year-old working for him, I took some inspiration from Apple. Creators of the little-known product, the iPhone. Oh, we're about to get crazy. This is going to be such a brutal video, bro. Hopefully it's not boring, all right? I'm going to entrust Oz Media to at least not make it boring. Because if it's boring, I'm going to be really pissed off. But it better not be.
The outro. Well, here we are. Round 2. Blair, if you or your lawyers are watching this, I implore you to at least watch the outro, preferably before June 7th. This is not the monstrosity of a documentary against Blair's actions. If anything, think of this as the prologue. We're here right now because Blair, owner of Pyramid Entertainment LLC, or better known as her public YouTube personality Illuminati, is currently in the process of suing me, as well as other prior employees for defamation and other claims.
I remember this this meme. He was supposed to be dropping a documentary thing about Illuminati, like Oliver Lies or whatever. He was going to drop like a giant video, and it just never came out. From what I remember, it never came out. If I click on Bro's channel... Open link in new tab. Let's see here. Yeah, this one was 8 months ago. I remember this. It was such a long time ago. This drama's been going on for how long now? When did I post my first... When was the first Turkey Tom video about Illuminati? So 2.7 million views. When did this come out? May 22nd, 2023. Wow, it has been. It's been over a year since this? Oh my god, bro. Time flies. When was the last video I did on the Tom Dark channel about this? 9 months ago. Looks like was the last time I did a video. Oh, this was 8 months ago. Okay, 8 months ago makes sense. This is when I was streaming. It's a crazy look, Tom. The beard is crazy. What was I thinking? Why is this so long? What the f? I didn't know I could grow a beard that long, to be honest with you. I look like Kaneko Kitten. I kind of always look like Kaneko Kitten, but I really look like Kaneko Kitten there. Top comment is, Tom Dark the kind of guy to have a piano fall on his head and have the keys replace his teeth? Okay, bro. I think financial grooming is actually pretty accurate. Oh, this is the thing where he said that she got him into like a, what he described as like a predatory contract for a loan for a house. I think it was like he got a house, he had a mortgage on it, he couldn't pay for the mortgage or something, so he took out debt from her. But he didn't understand it was under the presumption that if he wasn't able to pay her back, she had a right to sell the house to like foreclose it and to collect her money basically. And it was in the contract, but he didn't read it or understand it, or it was something like that, but I don't really totally remember.
This video, as well as its subsequent parts, will serve as a public record of exactly what is going on behind the scenes. Throughout these videos, I will actively be showing all and any evidence related to dismantling her claims against me, as well as the other parties she's involved in this misplaced legal crusade of hers.
Okay, all the evidence.
What is going on behind the scenes. Throughout these videos, I will actively be showing all and any evidence related to dismantling her claims against me, as well as the other parties she's involved in this misplaced legal crusade of hers.
All and any evidence. All and any evidence. So that's a big claim, to be clear. She's suing him. Now, Blair is crazy, and I guess you can probably find a lawyer to take a lot of cases, but to take any case, even if they don't think that they're going to win, because they're going to get paid regardless, unless it's pro bono, I guess. But I think in this case, it'd be really interesting if her case actually had like zero merit. I'm super curious what's in that lawsuit. I have read a decent amount of it. I've read a bit of the lawsuit. I have like a document because I've been requesting court documents throughout this entire thing. There's been a ton of recent filings. I want to say like 15 recent filings or something. They're going back and forth. And this hasn't even gotten to trial yet. Keep in mind, they're all in pre-trial proceedings. So, yeah, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on here.
Seeing as I know this video will be heavily scrutinized by Blair's legal team,
I see a bunch of people saying he's a femboy, he's ugly, or he's hot, and I like his hair. Can you shut the f up? It's no goon June. It's no goon June. What did I say? Let's just listen to what just close your eyes if you have to. Jesus.
and perhaps even shown in front of a court, also high, I am fully willing to submit this video and its subsequent parts to the courts as further evidence as...
Okay, Trash Panda. Can you give a shout out to my uncle? He was murdered last week. Okay, shout out to your uncle. Damn. He also had a YouTube channel called Durkle Khan. Much love, Panda. Damn. Well, that's sad, bro. Glad you like the content.
I am willing to stand by these words as I'm treating this as though I'm speaking under oath. I am also not stating this to add an air of authority to my words as Blair's legal...
For instance, in a recently published video that defendant published regarding plaintiff, Blair, right? Illuminati. Defendant stated, I want to get everything right. I need to get everything right. I need to ensure that everyone's stories are factual. And then lists his YouTube video. Second, a simple review of this video alone will persuade a reasonable viewer that defendant was asserting facts. On or about September 16th, 2023, defendant blank released a video, says Oz Media, titled Let's Talk, an update to the Illuminati drama. In this publication, defendant blank speaks to how he believes that the video will be used in the courtroom and includes false allegations of theft and abuse. Interesting.
Legal team has previously proposed. I want the truth known. And to do so, I'm going to publicly dissect her claims within this lawsuit to essentially lay bare my defense, as well as the defense for other parties involved. My section of the lawsuit will be covered in part 2, as I'm awaiting litigation privileges before I explore my portion of the lawsuit.
Just do not send that message. The thing I'm confused about is like why he would want to make a public statement if he's so in the right in the court case. Like, why not just go through with the case, you know what I mean? Like, why not? I guess he's just trying to rally public pressure to shit on Blair, to think that she should like back off from the lawsuit, basically. But I don't think it's going to work because everyone already hates Blair. Everyone already fucking hates Illuminati. Like, they despise her, right? So from that perspective, I feel like pressuring her publicly isn't really going to work because she is already so hated. Like, everybody already hates her. There's no real coming back at the moment anyway.
Publicly. Despite this, there is still plenty of information on the ongoings in this video. My lawyer is aware I'm doing this. These legal proceedings have been ongoing for the past 8 to 9 months at this point in time. If it wasn't for the assistance I received with the GoFundMe,
He raised, wow, $4,000 goal. He raised almost 50 grand. Jesus. I'm still working on my video. The cover photo being from said video. The photo is of me. However, redacted, which is Blair, is taking legal action against me trying to take my home. I need help with legal costs and will be providing a full and detailed explanation of what this is, how it's happening, and why I'm in this position with my video. No Name TV for 5 says, best way I can describe the scent of Illuminati is moldy vanilla. It's kind of sweet with a pungent undertone, which is a big contrast to your scent. I smell like sweat, to be honest with you. Would you rather have an oiled dance-off with Sappho or giggly goon clown? How about neither? How about neither?
back in September,
I'm
I
not
would not
picking
have been
that.
able to mount a legal defense. Of the amount donated, GoFundMe takes a fee with each donation. This can be seen on screen here with this nice little chart breakdown they provide. At this point in time, which more information can be found as an update in the original GoFundMe, this lawsuit has cost over $40,000.
Wow. $40,000 and they're not even at trial yet. $40,000 and it's all pre-trial. And that's just for him. Blair has probably spent, who knows, 40 grand, 50 grand, 60 grand. Jesus Christ, bro. That is actually fucking insane. That is crazy.
I've been posting
And there's been more money spent too, apart from the 40 grand. Did he let everyone tap for 40K? Jeez.
all of my legal invoices for full transparency, and more will be posted soon. The redacted information within them is information subject to attorney-client privilege, which also spells out my current legal strategy. This would be foolish to allow Blair's legal team access. This is why the redactions are as heavy as they are, as they include itemized lists of my lawyer's actions throughout the case's initial proceedings. Despite how much has been spent so far, the legal proceedings are still in the beginning phases. Blair's lawsuit, in my opinion, relies on the misconstruing of facts and utilizes a personally curated timeline, which she has constructed in order to gain the bare minimum standards of having this case proceed. Because I'm exhausted with the, in my opinion, legal shenanigans Blair is currently pulling, this video exists. We will be delving into that timeline.
So the purpose of this video is basically to outline why, in his opinion, the lawsuit is, and also probably to outline to the audience why maybe he needs more money. And on top of that, probably, get some more public pressure, so maybe she'll drop it. I don't think she's going to drop it at all. She's gotten this far. She's been hated on YouTube for like a year. She's not making any money on YouTube. She hasn't posted in 3 months. Like, she's already so hated in the public eye. There's no reason for her to stop from that perspective. The two possibilities are I guess there's 3. 1, she's suing him completely out of spite, and it's an unfounded lawsuit. 2, she's suing him out of spite, but it is a valid lawsuit. Or 3, somehow it's not spite, which is not really likely. And it has foundation, right? That's basically the options. But we don't really know if it has merit, We don't really know. The thing about these situations is it's really hard to have one guy who's completely in the right and one guy who's completely in the wrong, right? Like, it is very much a he said, she said from the public eye. Blair is a shitty person, and that's publicly known. She did fuck up. I mean, she was trying to expose her friends by getting old, like, fucking videos of the clique saying retard 10 years ago, which who gives a fuck, right? Like, who actually cares, right? She is a shitty person. But the question is, all these people knew about, that she was a shitty person behind the scenes for so long. They tolerated it. Some of them were involved in it. So the question is, like, how do they go along with it for that long? And are they morally questionable based on that, too? I don't know. Sorry for the copy pasta. Thank you for your apology.
And gutting it point by point, as both her lawyers and judge seem to be fully unaware that I am
Hey, I'm like 3 minutes in.
Perfect.
Let me share my screen.
You want to? Yeah.
All right, you should be able to get in now. You managed to join?
Yes, I'm in.
Okay.
not the real cause of her pain and misery. Blair is. Blair's actions are the reason we are here. And I'll be demonstrating that shortly with a detailed timeline of events before we move into the dissection of her claims. If you would like a full breakdown of every court filing to date, I would recommend YouTuber Mad Catster. For now, I'll be focusing on what's current and minimizing the 100+ pages of—
So I guess the 2 questions here are going to be throughout this video. It's going to be, one, what is right versus what is wrong, and one, what is legal versus what is illegal, really.
Yes.
That's going to be a big
I have,
question.
I have another one too, which is like, why is he doing? You already asked this, which is why is he doing it? You said public pressure.
Well, I think that's probably why he thinks he's doing it, but in my opinion, there's kind of no there's no
What
reason
public
she would
pressure
stop.
exists for Blair.
She's already got, well, she has what there is public pressure. She's already had so much to the point where it's null. Like she doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no reason for her to care. People already hate her, and she's still suing him, right? So it's not like she's. I don't think she would turn around now after what 7 months of this lawsuit, 8 months.
Yeah, and I mean, even if he does, like, okay, so then what changes in her situation? You know, do people come back? No one's come back.
Right. Yeah.
Legal proceedings down to only what's necessary over the next 2 parts. For the next proceedings, I'll be launching a new GoFundMe because I have nearly exhausted the prior amounts donated. All donations will be used to defend all parties in opposition to Blair.
Curious if his GoFundMe has raised any more money. What do we got here? Another 27 grand of a 30 grand goal.
Is your Discord mic the correct mic, Tom? Set to the right mic.
Let me check. It is now. It wasn't at the time.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Yeah. So raise a decent amount of money.
But like, how much of this? Yeah, I wonder. I don't know if there's a way to check, but I assume this is the same GoFundMe that he used the first time when he raised the 10K. So I wonder. And I know that time it went way past 10K. I think it hit at least 15. So
This is a new GoFundMe though, because he was asking for 5K in the first one, I think, and he raised like almost 50. So this one he asked for 30. He's raised almost.
This is all since he released the video, you think?
This is all new. Yes, this is all new money.
Oh wow.
This is a new GoFundMe.
I mean, that's not gonna go, but I don't know how far that's gonna take. If he's already spent 40K, and this is to be split between 3 defendants' legal teams, I'm not sure how far.
Is it
that's
for all
gonna
3 of
go,
them or
but-
just for him? I don't even know.
Oh, look, go back to GoFundMe. It was said at the top. It's for all 3. Yeah, it's at the top.
Utilize to support all in this battle. Yeah, so
Yeah.
they each get 10 grand.
Well, I guess that's not how it would happen. It would just go to
Whoever
their
needs it at
legal
the time
field.
gets it.
Yeah, I would just go to their legal field teams. But right now it's, I mean, I guess go on. But right now it's just Oz Media and Felix the Kit Kat.
Say that you hate Zelig and frogs. I hate Zelig and frogs. Is this the own Zelig, one Zelig? You guys are fucking crazy.
Not just myself. All future legal invoices will be posted as they come from all parties who are in need of the funding. My goal with these uploads, assuming Blair does not take my offer, is to not only lay my defense bare for all legal parties to see, but for the online community as a whole. I intend to provide ample documentation to justify to all of you why another round of crowdfunding is being posted. This isn't just for myself anymore. This is also to defend employees that Blair is bringing legal action against as well. If Blair does accept my offer within the outro, I will be refunding the new GoFundMe once all terms are met and the lawsuit is officially over, court filings and all. If you're curious as to why I'm even offering Blair a potential settlement in the outro, that will be explained there, as there are numerous factors in my personal life that I've recently had to heavily consider and prioritize minimizing or even removing causes of stress. That being said, I have no issue, hesitations, or fears in connection to proceeding with this lawsuit. I am confident in the direction things are going, and I just want to offer a path to end this before we're stuck in this for years on end. This will be further explored in the outro.
Timeline, let's go.
As stated in my September update video, Blair and I dated, just in case this context is missing. It was never my goal to make any of this about relationship drama. However, despite the actual timeline...
Why would you date Blair, bro? What's going on, big guy? I mean, look. I'm just saying, like...
Well, back then she was rich.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't help this, bro. Like, what the fuck? What's going on? What's going on, big girl? Big guy and big girl, what's going on? Like, why would you do that? You're going to get crushed. Not even legally speaking, just physically.
Well, she's also, like, much older than him.
Yeah, she's like, what, he was like 19, she was like 30 something?
Yeah, I think it's like 10 or 11 years in between them.
Like, bruh, don't do that to yourself. There's no reason to get involved in whatever this situation is. In my humble opinion, there's no good reason to be involved in this. Don't do this to yourself, brother. Don't do this to yourself. This is the person suing you. That's a very dark day when this person is taking you to court.
Yeah, sorry, she's 6 years older.
Oh, okay. It's not as much as I thought then.
Yeah.
So she's still in her 20s then, or late 20s?
No. So he's 24. She's 31.
Okay, so when they dated, he was 21 or something?
That sounds right. Yes.
Okay.
Of
Freshly-
events which have
freshly
occurred.
turned 21.
Blair is trying to
Freshly.
paint her entire downfall on YouTube as being nothing more than my actions towards her as a jealous ex. I'm not jealous towards your current partner, Blair, only sympathetic. I encourage all of you to fact check this timeline as I go. I'm being both as detailed and as quick as I can here because, again, Blair, in my opinion, is actively obfuscating the timeline in her lawsuit in an attempt to paint herself as a victim who did nothing to deserve the scrutiny delivered onto her. On April 20th, 2023, the story begins with a tweet produced by Blair which attacked Legal Eagle.
Someone in chat says she's only 31. That's old as fuck. She's about to be over. That's like the end of your life. So he's talking about the Legal Eagle thing here. Not at Legal Eagle editors broaching my editors to take my video style. They didn't give up the info. They literally copied it. By the way, I have the messages from my editors and found an email from them too. Just changed the color from purple to blue, huh? Interesting. This is such an awesome thing to call someone out for because it was so stupid. It was so dumb.
It's just
it was
amazing.
it was like you used a blue background and you used like a white paper background on your thing. How did she let her editor convince her that this was like a valid thing to call anyone out for?
And you can't usually measure the ripple effect of something, but that exact tweet has already cost her approaching like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Easily
Right.
hundreds of thousands
That's
of
where all
dollars.
it started.
That one tweet has according to all of them, that's what started it all. So
I mean, it is. I honestly don't think they would have come out, at least at the time they did, if not for this tweet. Because this kind of gave them, once everybody shit on her, they kind of gave them the green light to go ahead and do it, right? Like, I don't think they would
exactly.
have done it otherwise because she was widely liked by the community at the time.
For copying her style. Legal Eagle would quickly retort, explaining he had been using these standard practice editing styles, which included standard documentarian effects such as the classic skeuomorphism torn paper effect, as well as the simple action of highlighting text.
This is stuff everyone's done, by the way. So that's why that call out was so funny. Because I've done it. Everybody on YouTube has done it. Before Blair, people were doing it. So it's crazy that whether someone convinced her or not, whether they told her, like, can you please call this guy out? It's crazy that she was delusional enough to believe that this could have been like a ripoff in any way. It's completely retarded.
Have you considered that maybe you all ripped her off?
Or
You were all plagiarizing from her. Yeah.
They plagiarized her before she even popped off, before she was doing it. Yeah, retrospective plagiarism, that's a real thing. Legal term. Keep in mind, guys.
Which all can easily be found as stock templates online. In this Twitter thread, Blair had also levied accusations against members of Legal Eagle's team as proof of this copying by showing an editor of Legal Eagle asking for help with how a certain effect is achieved. This is standard practice amongst YouTubers and editors. Blair responded to Legal Eagle by deleting these accusations and did not provide a public apology or any form of public justification for her actions. This further stirred the pot and made people ask questions.
She did eventually, but just not at the time. But she did eventually. She apologized to Legal Eagle privately, and I think she posted a tweet saying she regretted it.
When did she? I guess did she publicly apologize? Like at any point to Legal Eagle? When did she do it?
She did, yeah. When? Good question. We could probably find out.
Because I think doesn't he say that she never did so?
Well, he just said it now. Maybe he meant at the time though. But I do remember her publicly apologizing to Legal Eagle.
Continue the video.
I just want to see if I can find it because I definitely have it in here. Let's see here. She did post an apology. Oh, here she was like, someone's trying to gain access to my Google accounts. That was her like playing victim. I know she apologized. I know she did. I specifically remember it. I'm 1000% positive.
Video by Blade and set up meetings for us to do something and nobody cared. Of events. It's sad to see she hasn't changed. Finding that his departure
Administration, which told him he had to.
Is her Twitter account still up? It's probably there.
Let's see.
I found her account. Okay, let's just scroll through it real quick. Yeah, here we go. To Legal Eagle, although I apologize privately, I'd like to do so now publicly. I'm sorry for making editing, styling claims that were inaccurate. I jumped the gun. I thought hastily and should have messaged you privately to hash things out. I'm sorry. So this is from April 28th,
April
2023. And when was her initial call out was...
Oh, she had to have deleted it. So.
She did delete it. I just don't know when specifically she made the initial call out. I would like to
I don't
figure it
think
out.
your screenshot would have the date.
It just says 3 hours on this one,
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like it wasn't that long. I think it was within a week or two, but I don't totally remember, honestly. Anyway.
This same day, April 20th, H-Bomber Guy would post a tweet publicly displaying an example of Blair copying a documentary herself, although he used the word plagiarism. At the time, I found it incredibly telling that H-Bomber
So
Guy
that was
had such a
April 20, I
specific
think.
clip-
So the tweet was April 28th, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that one was April 20. He just showed the H Bomber Guy's tweet. So it's probably around the same time. So it was probably.
So this is 420. So it's,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
8 days. 8 days before she
days later,
apologized.
Yeah, okay.
accusations and did not provide a public apology or any form of public justification for her actions. This further stirred the pot and made people ask questions. This same day, April 20th, H-Bomber Guy would post a tweet publicly displaying an example of Blair copying a documentary herself, although he used the word plagiarism. At the time, I found it incredibly telling that H-Bomber Guy had such a specific clipped comparison ready to go that same day, with an exact video. I do wonder if Blair had the same realization that I did, that the only way Harris would have a clip like this is if something major was in the works. Foreshadowing is a literal on April 23rd, 3 day
What the fuck is that cut, bro? What is that?
What just happened?
comparison ready to go that same day, with an exact video. I do wonder if Blair had the same realization that I did, that the only way Harris would have a clip like this is if something major was in the works. Foreshadowing is a literal on April 23rd.
What is that?
Was
How'd
he
you
gonna
fuck
say
that
like
up?
a literal bitch, and then was it like?
I think he was going to talk about the video that he posted, like plagiarism on YouTube, where I think he talked about her. Probably is that what he's talking about? That's probably what he's talking about here. But I don't know. How did that cut happen? How did that?
He's just saying he is. So I watched the first few minutes before, and he just says that like it was foreshadowing because like so Blair should have seen that H Bomber Guy is gonna go after him harder.
After her harder, yes.
Yeah,
after
sorry,
Blair,
after
yeah,
her.
yeah. But
Yes.
what is this cut?
with
though?
an exact video. I do wonder if Blair had the same realization that I did, that the only way Harris would have a clip like this is if something major was in the works. Foreshadowing is a literal on April 23rd,
Oh, yeah, I
3
don't know.
days later, we would see Click post his Twitter thread.
I just don't understand how did that cut happen so poorly? It's probably a joke cut. I mean, it's not really a joke though. Like it's not like there's no real cut. It's a poorly executed Redditor joke, but it doesn't really make sense as a joke. Like he doesn't even
maybe we're just
you can't
fake.
even hear any part of the joke. It's just cut. Like how did you post this video? Presumably you reviewed this video. I thought you were going to make it perfect. I mean, I'm not trying to shit on the guy too hard. It's a joke. I don't
At
think
the
it's a
time,
joke.
I found it incredibly telling that H-Bomber Guy had such a specific clipped comparison ready
It's a meme. This is a thing that exists.
to go that same day, with an exact video. I do wonder if Blair
I
had
just
the
don't
same
understand how
realization that I
cutting it
did,
in that point relates to foreshadowing. But maybe I'm just very stupid.
Why wouldn't he like show a screenshot of it or something?
the only way Harris would have a clip like this is if
The joke is it cutting?
something major was in the works. Foreshadowing is a literal on April 23rd.
Foreshadowing is also the cut isn't so instant. I don't think it's supposed to be a joke. I feel like it's a fuck up. It's a joke meme. Foreshadowing. That's the joke. This is like retarded. I know what a cutaway joke is. It's badly done. If it is supposed to be a joke, it's badly done.
3 days later, we would see Click post his Twitter thread. I emphasize the 3 days portion because at this
comedy
point,
police is here.
Blair was still yet to address the legal eagle scenario, pushing Click, a former collaborator of hers, to publicly distance himself from her to avoid the flack that her actions had been causing for any and all who were at any point associated with her. This is not an accusation. I am just stating the unforeseen cause and effect of Blair's documented actions. This same night, from a bathtub apparently, Wonderstruck, now known as Hi I'm Wonder, would post his Twitter thread detailing his prior dealings with Blair.
From a bathtub? He was in the bath when he tweeted this? Why is bro tweeting in the bath? What's going on? What? From a bathtub? That's why they can't serve him, because they can't find his bathtub?
So just to be clear, they're arguing that the only reason they had to say anything, the only reason Wonderstruck had to respond is because Blair was taking so long to mention her apology to Legal Eagle publicly that they were continuing to get hate for her actions, so they had no options but to respond.
I feel like
that's
that
why I
doesn't
wanted.
really
I
make
was
sense.
so, but that's their argument. So that's why I was zeroing in on the dates. And so you see this response on April 23rd. So they are saying between April 20 and April 23rd, they were getting so much hate on Blair's behalf that they essentially felt the need to respond.
I feel like that's not. I feel like it doesn't make sense. Were they getting like a shit? And if that is the case, I'm surprised he didn't show like sources or something. I feel like the public was pressuring them to respond because of what Blair did when they didn't even do collabs with her anymore. It doesn't really make sense to me. I don't really get it.
Again, well, they're her like editors and stuff and employees. So
yeah, well, not at the time.
They were all employees.
Though. Like, not at the time. Hadn't they already stopped being her employee? Like, they had all fallen out before this, and then they came out with all this shit, right?
Oh yeah, but I think. Well, I don't know if it was like public. All of this shit was public knowledge though until that point.
But like, how could the Legal Eagle call out ever be their fault? Like, who in their right mind would ever assume that? It has nothing to do with them.
Well,
it doesn't really make sense. Tips for Five says, someone's crazy when they try and call out a legit and reputable lawyer over plagiarism. That takes some serious delusional audacity. I mean, that's not even the delusional part, because lawyers can be retarded, make no mistake. The delusional part is just like the substance of the call out, which is so dumb. That's the most delusional part. Anyway.
Blair, as well as the harm that he felt he suffered.
And it's also interesting, by the way, sorry, just one more thing. In his, he says after being threatened with a breach for speaking out. So before the first tweet, they were already threatened by Illuminati, right? Because that's what his tweet starts with. So again, it's just interesting to note that they did know that what they were doing, at least. Anyways.
What do you mean? What they were doing? You mean like it could have consequences from her, or she could be mad at them?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she gave them notice. Is like it's enough, like you can't say I didn't know what I was doing was wrong. Is what I'm saying.
Well, they could say they did the right thing even if they broke contract, right?
Oh yeah, you could still argue that you did the right thing. My point is you can't argue that you didn't know.
In fairness, we haven't really gotten to that part yet, but we'll be getting there soon. The part about employee confidentiality or something.
Where that wonder.
Well, they're all her. Every single one of these people were her employees
at one point. Yes.
That's why.
But I don't think. All I mean by that is that I don't think what's his name, Ozmedia, has talked about that yet.
No.
In the video.
He and I normally aren't on voice call when he's in the tub. This will be important later when we move into the details of the lawsuit, as Blair claims Wonder and I had essentially masterminded her downfall. I didn't know about the thread until I received a now-deleted DM from Blair asking me what she should do, followed by several missed calls from her.
Oh.
I wish I had a record of this Discord DM, but by the next morning, this DM would be deleted. Because Blair did not publish...
That's interesting. Can you not, pull logs from Discord or, subpoena them or something? Is that not possible?
No.
You can't?
I mean, you can't. I mean, the U.S. government probably could, but not.
But this is a civil case, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. So if he's telling the truth, she asked him what to do for advice. She thought that they were still on decent terms at that point, right?
Yes.
Good enough terms for her to at least ask him advice. That's really interesting.
Correct. So I think she was still on at least quote speaking terms with Ozmedia by that point, but I don't think she was. With Wonderstruck, it was way worse. That's why Wonderstruck started her tweet with, the threats and such.
Publicly provide a reason or explanation towards her actions, and
you can't delete call attempts on Discord. Yeah, I guess you wouldn't be able to. So I don't know why he didn't show that. Even if she could delete the DM, he could have just shown the call attempt with the date, right? I don't think you can wipe that. Even if she wiped the account, I think you can still see the deleted user and just line it up with her old Discord, right? I feel like it's not impossible. Hippity hoppity, women are property. Thank you, Operator Gypsy, for the 5.
With the emergence of H-Bomber Guy, Click, and Wonderstruck's threads, it left Twitter frenzied for answers. Those who were familiar with my connections to Blair, as it was public knowledge we were roommates, would begin to DM me or brigade my livestream chats with questions on the situation.
There you go.
Questions such as if I still supported Blair and if I could provide a reason or explanation for her actions. It was because of users constantly asking me to answer on behalf of Blair, as well as my past colleagues, finally speaking out that I broke my silence and posted my thread.
I think it's time that I actually speak out in the current Twitter threads regarding Sad Milk in 2020 to 2021. I cannot express how scared I am to do this, the fear I have in my gut to even speak out. However, I do feel it's important to say my piece in the subject matter. So when he says fear in my gut, he's probably talking about he's scared because she's a litigious person, right? That could be it.
Yes.
I remember someone said something to the effect of like Blair still hated Nick DiOrio to the point that I think she consulted lawyers or something. Was what they said, for the purpose of maybe suing him if she could, and they were like, "You're retarded. You can't really do that in this case." But I can't even remember where I heard that. But yeah,
I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that she would ask a question like that.
I don't think so either.
Thread where I took accountability for my actions in support of Blair and defended the credibility of my colleagues. I posted my Twitter thread April 24th,
So he says
2023
again,
at roughly 4.
just to repeat,
He's
he
saying
says
he had to
also
do it.
had again both of their argument is that they had to say something.
I don't know if they had to. They could have made a vague statement saying I don't support Blair anymore.
Just to be clear, and to even take it further, to play slight devil's advocate, like I couldn't take it. I understand after like a month, 2 weeks, Blair responded or publicly said something 8 days later. They said something 3 days later. I couldn't take it. I mean, look at their channel history, right? I think they could have taken a week of not streaming until Blair could have responded, right? If you couldn't take it, instead of coming out, and if your reasoning is I couldn't take it, if that's truly it, then again, you could have waited a little bit long. I do think you could have taken it a bit longer.
In fairness, I don't blame them for coming out in like a moral sense. Like I don't think there's anything
in a
wrong
moral
with that.
sense.
The question is just legally
Yeah.
were they on the right, right?
Correct.
I don't give a fuck like if they want to shit talk her. Like I got some good content out of it. I was happy. I was happy.
Sense, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just yeah, but then you can't also try to, you can't like, argue against her when she comes after you legally.
Right.
If she has a
My
basis.
time. That same morning, I had this text message interaction with Blair. Please note, it is only because of the current trajectory of this lawsuit, with myself awaiting litigation privileges on these matters, that I am no longer leaving my information redacted.
What does litigation privileges mean? What does that mean?
I think he's talking about basically like it's attorney-client privileges, which is anything lawyers working on in preparation for trial is under attorney-client privilege that can't be basically made public.
Gotcha.
He can make it public, but it would be stupid, obviously.
Okay.
But he could.
The Lightbringer in chat for 5 says lawyers can be retarded. What a ridiculous statement. Have you met Nick Rekieta? Checkmate, bro. Delete your channel. You raise a good point, bro. You raise a really good point. Can we get Nick Rekieta to talk about this while he has the Baldo on? That'll be fire.
As I had previously intended to do so, now 1 year.
To Blair, he says, except you aren't. You're going to continue to drag my name through the mud. You're going to continue to be who you are, and that's okay. I just hope you stop painting people as your weekly villain. It's your biggest flaw, and it's always gotten you in the most trouble. It's what's caused the most harm. Blair, I'm sorry I ripped everything wide open, but I never had the chance to heal. I never had the chance to feel peace. I'm afraid of you, Blair. I wonder what he said in these DMs. Interesting. I never had the chance to feel peace, he says.
This is not a so these are his texts
to Blair.
Exactly. Yeah.
Year ago.
This is a big thing, the villain of the week thing that all these guys talked about, how she was like everywhere to be a new person. She was preying on their downfall, like a new enemy she had. And eventually some of those people apparently became like the Clique was one of them, right? Who I don't think she's even taken to court at all. I mean, I assume it would be difficult. He's a foreigner, but even so,
Blair, Monday, April 24th at 8:24 a.m. So I just saw your tweets, and now I understand why when I called you, you didn't answer. I'm going to take some time to formulate my thoughts, but ultimately, Oz, I hope you really do find your happiness in life. I hope you find your peace, your satisfaction, your perfect black cat, all of that. I'm not sure what you want from an outcome in this situation, but I guess I'll have to figure that out later. Blair, I just want you to realize you've caused pain. You've caused me pain. I don't care about the drama. I just want you to realize how much you've hurt me.
Tommy in chat says 2 months of edging to a femboy. Never say that again.
Doing my best to hold everything in for years now at this point. If you actually did read my thread, you would know what I want. Peace. I just want to be free. I just want to be able to breathe. I have read that you want peace. I thought we were doing better. I wish it could have been something we talked about on our own time instead of dogpiling. I'm left more confused than anything. Well, I assume you don't want to talk anymore. All I ever wanted was for you to realize you hurt me. Not just in the relationship, I do not care about that. You hurt me as a person to my very core. At some point, Blair, you need to see the pattern. Well, Oz, I cared about the relationship too. I cared about all of it. You hurt me as a person too, and ripped everything wide open today. And if doing this all to me helps you feel better, then that's okay. I'll take it. I'm sorry, Oz. I hope this helps you find your peace. Except you aren't. You're going to continue to drag my name through the mud. You're going to continue to be who you are. And
This is such like a it's very email.
Anime. Yeah, it's very
dramatic.
anime back and forth.
Drag my name through the mud. I'm sorry I ripped everything wide open. Like, damn, bro. This is some serious shit. You guys got some serious beef with each other if they're talking about ripping stuff wide open. Stango Jenkins Vertus talking about shake your hand if you weren't so gay. Completely valid, brother. I understand.
that's okay. I just hope that you stop painting people as your weekly villain. It's your biggest flaw and it's always gotten you in the most trouble. It's what caused the most harm. Blair, I'm sorry I ripped everything wide open, but I never had the chance to heal. I never had the chance to feel peace. Instead, I went to therapy and have a PTSD diagnosis.
You have a PTSD diagnosis because of your relationship with Blair? Jesus.
Instead, I gave myself chemical burns because I was too scared to say no.
Chemical burns? Chemical burns? What? Scared to say no to what? Chemical burns? Is this guy dumping like acid on his skin? What the fuck?
So, I mean, I think even Blair won't disagree that he had a lot of mental health issues and probably still does. I mean,
Chemical
a bit
burns?
from
I've never heard about chemical burns. Like,
yeah, that's, what is he? He was
was
drinking
bro
bleach,
taking a
maybe.
bath in Drano? Like, what is going on?
I'm afraid of you, Blair. I'm getting a second opinion on the PTSD. I don't want it to be true, and I don't trust Talkspace to that extent. What the hell are you talking about with chemical burns? And this purple portion here is Blair airing her mental health. I'm leaving this censored. I don't want to drag your name in the mud, which is why I'm going to you instead of Twitter or whatever. I would go to an actual doctor. Colorado is tightening down on telemedicine stuff, FYI. I'm working on it. Thanks for the heads up. I would rather talk
For the chemical burns?
to you in a phone call, in person, whatever. I would rather try to work on things and work out things over, I don't know, whatever else the other options are. I don't want either of us hurting. I know there is no band-aid solution, but I know talking helps. Just for some context, why I didn't take this is because Blair does have a habit of recording conversations. This is evident with the Madison situation from Cruel Happy Mind. I was fearful she would take my words out of context to suit her narrative. I need time. I need to see
I
a
mean,
real therapist
couldn't
first.
he then also record it? Again.
He could. I mean, he's already... In fairness, like, if somebody's this crazy, maybe you just don't want to have a phone call with them. I don't really blame him
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that.
No, that's
There's
I
certain
can't
people
blame
I
him.
wouldn't have a fucking phone call with because it's just like, even if I don't think I'd be doing anything wrong, who knows what they're going to say or how they're going to characterize that conversation. Like, it's just not productive, you know? I don't really blame him for not wanting to talk to her. Schnookum, I need to smile to end my gooning session. What makes you think I would ever smile? I'm looking at an Illuminati drama video, dude. I'm fucking pissed.
I don't know what else to say. I'm sorry you're hurting as well. I really am. But I need to start putting my needs first. I will put my needs first too. Good luck out there. Take care, please. Can't guarantee that, but I will be alive. Just so we're clear, that was a joke. Probably a bad one, but a joke. And I'll have the officer remove the bolo off of your house too. I guess I'll be heading down then. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have it in my name either. Just show them any verifiable threats and they'll do it.
Verifiable threats. What are they talking about here? What is the BOLO?
BOLO stands for be on the lookout for. It's basically when you tell cops that there's some special circumstances at your residence and they would need to be on the lookout for something. Now, it goes multiple ways. I know in the YouTuber sense, it's oftentimes used to tell them, so to prevent them from getting swatted.
Okay, yeah, like I've done that before. BOLO and law enforcement code, be on the lookout. I just brought up a page for this so I can read it real quick. It says, For people who don't work in any field of law enforcement, you may have heard of certain terms or phrases. Let's see here. Okay. BOLO is an acronym for be on the lookout. It's majorly used by law enforcement agents to send information to officers in other parts of a city or country to be on the lookout for a fugitive, criminal, or law offender that's on the run. It could also be used for missing persons or stolen items. When an officer calls another and says BOLO for a blonde man driving a red SUV with a shattered windscreen, what the message simply means is that the receiver of the call should be on the lookout for any blonde man driving a red SUV with a broken windscreen. Most often, a BOLO signal is sent to many officers at a time. Under what circumstance is a BOLO issued? A situation where there's a criminal on the run from the law or law enforcement agents. A BOLO can be used for a serial killer, a kidnapper, a robber. But why would there be I just don't understand why there would be a BOLO on the house still. Like because they think it's going to get swatted, or?
Yes, that's why.
You think that's the context here?
Yes.
Derek Moon for 10. When is the next Tom IRL vid coming out? Should be not that long. Y2K Vaporwave over 3 says, take my money. Please don't beat my ass, Big Tom. Oh, I'll beat your ass, bro. I'll destroy you in combat.
And this was the last time I spoke to Blair. For additional context, the BOLO in question, as Blair described it, was essentially swatting protection. It was a way that if someone were to attempt to swat my home, the officer in question would then look up my address and see that I am a public figure and give me a call before showing up to my door in SWAT gear. Blair removed this protection when I spoke out against her, or at least she claims. I don't know if this actually exists or not. But
by the way, if you do have a bunch of drugs at your house, just tell them you're an influencer and then they won't show up, right? That seems genius.
Yeah, obviously.
If you're a drug dealer, call the police station, say, hey man, I'm a good guy, I'm a YouTuber. I don't have any drugs in my house. If you get a call about that, just know it's someone trolling. So just say that and you'll be genius, assuming they never check up on you. Genius trap for any drug dealers in chat, just saying. I'm looking out for you guys.
I'm pretty sure if you call the police and you say, I'm an influencer, they just assume you have drugs at your house.
You think so?
Probably.
Then I guess I'm fucked. I guess I'm seriously fucked. Claus Mystery for 50 Mexican dollars says, I'm a Mexican. I'll give anyone that wants a misogynist pass for any art or comment they have for free. Well, thank you very much, Klaus. I appreciate that, brother.
to me, in my eyes, on this day, after I had spoken out against Blair, Blair removed protections that I would have against swatting. Protections which she did in fact put in place, but had also explained to me what the purpose of them were. There is a lot to unpack here. However, these messages are important as I believe they help demonstrate why I have come to the conclusions I have on her motives. It is worth noting, I am the one who asked for space.
Wait, so I want to go back to those messages for a sec. I guess I'll be heading down them. Probably wouldn't be bad to have it in my name either. So she's just saying here, she had it in her name. So she's like, you should put it in your name.
Correct.
Just show them any verifiable threats. So she's not doing it so he gets swatted, right? He's like, I'll head down to the police station, basically. It probably wouldn't be bad to have the bolo in my name rather than yours, right?
I mean, it's literally the same message. You can take it in multiple ways. I agree. I think it was a little bit of both. You know, it's like a screw you. I'm gonna go do it right now. You know, because I'm pissed at you. But it's something that she was gonna have to eventually do either ways, right? It couldn't be in her name forever in his house.
So you think there could be multiple? It could be spiteful on one hand. It could be just like useful for him on the other hand. I feel like they seem kind of amicable here. I don't know. It doesn't seem like.
Well, it's literally the equivalent of, you know, breaking up with someone and they're like, okay, come get your shit then, you know. So just
is it? I mean, it's a little.
I don't see it any different.
It's a little different because in this case, it's not a physical thing they have. It's just a protection on the house to encourage us not to be swatted. And she's like, okay, well, I guess we're not on good terms. Like, I'll just take the bolo off the house. You should go deal with it.
Yeah, or I guess
she even gives him advice. She's like, show them any verifiable threats, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the worst, the bolo will be off the house for like an hour.
I don't think. Look, I mean, if you read her text, like she seems way more lighthearted, and he seems like he's having a panic attack, and it seems like he's like pissed at her, and she's like, okay, you know what? If you want to be insane, here, you can have the bolo. You know, I'll remove the bolo too. And he's like, yeah, I guess, I don't know. Like, to me, if you read here, if she is serious about joking, you know, it seems like she's more lighthearted about it than he is. But I don't think it really matters in the grand scheme.
Someone in chat says, can I call in? I have info on Poppy. You went to college together. You cannot call in. Post whatever you want publicly and then let the public deal with it. I'm not breaking your story for you, unfortunately. Elriz.
Just so we're clear, that was a joke. Probably a bad one, but a
Remove the baldo. I'll take the baldo off your house. Do you know what a baldo is? Did we talk about this?
We have not. No, I do not know what a ball does.
So a baldo is a sex toy that Nick Ricada had where you put your balls in it and it turns your balls into a shaft. So I just thought you should know. It's important. Lotan says, I'm never taking my baldo off. You got to have it on at all times. You never know when you're going to have two pussies in front of you to deal with. Frankly. You never know. It could be any time.
I only found out about Nick Ricada since he got arrested, and everything I have found out since has only been more amazing than the last.
It's awesome. It's good. It's fun.
joke. And I'll have the officer remove the bolo off of your house too. I guess I'll be heading down then. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have it in my name either.
Imagine if the house was like two giant balls and she was referring to a giant sex toy that went on top of the house to make it like able to penetrate. Like the house was just two spheres.
It becomes a tower.
Yeah, it becomes a tower. It's like a turret. But she's like, okay, I'll take the turret away. I'll take away the baldo in your house. We need to know, are you wearing your baldo right now? I am. We've got the Eat Any stream later, so I gotta have it on, right?
Just show them any verifiable threats and they'll do it. And this was the last time I spoke to Blair. For additional context, the bolo in question as Blair described.
What purpose does it serve exactly? Just to understand. Like, what does it do in an actual? Why does it exist?
The baldo? We're back to this.
Yeah,
I don't really know. I mean, if you have a dick, I don't see the reason to have it, but
that's what I'm saying. Is this like if your balls are bigger than your penis?
I don't really.
That's the only useful moment I can think of. No?
I don't really know. I mean, maybe your dick's just tired and you just want to use your balls. I don't really know.
They're on break.
GB Sauce says baldo is not CBT, meaning cock and ball torture. The design is pure bliss. It is a rather gemmy thing. Gemmy baldo. Not cool at all. My bad.
Described it was essentially swatting protection. It was a way that if someone were to attempt to swat my home, the officer in question would then look up my address and see that I am a public figure and give me a call before showing up to my door in SWAT gear. Blair removed this protection when I spoke out against her, or at least she claims. I don't know if this actually exists or not. But to me, in my...
Can you just call the cops and ask?
Ask for... I don't know. I don't know the procedure at all.
Okay. Huh.
Eyes on this day.
I would assume it needs a bit more than that, no, because just calling and asking, but again, I don't know.
Sorry, chat, just adjusting my baldo real quick. Illuminati, more like Illuminati. True. More like Illuma obese based.
Against Blair. Blair removed protections that I would have against swatting.
Illuma eating.
Protections which she did in fact put in place, but had also explained to me
Illuma dirty bulk.
What the purpose of them were. There is a lot to unpack here. However, these messages are important as I believe they help demonstrate why I have come to the conclusions I have on her motives. It is worth noting, I am the one who asked for space. I am the one who wanted nothing to do with her. She is the one who apologized and desperately sought out a rapid solution to remove my words from the internet. I finally said no.
So basically the case he's making here is that she didn't talk to him or care to talk to him or patch things up until this point. She messages him when he goes public. She's like, why'd you do that? She did message him before, the night before, asking what she should do, I guess, but he didn't respond. Which does seem to be the case there, basically. That one guy's animation says balls. True.
I honestly think all that first 15 minutes was a bit of a waste of time because, like, again, it doesn't really show anything, I don't think. Like, the text exchanges and stuff, like, there's so much more that could be there. And, like, texts never show, person's intent much. There's a lot that gets left out. I don't know. I don't find them too convincing, personally.
It's been somewhat underwhelming so far, but there might be other stuff. We'll see.
This same day, April 24th, One Topic would post his thread in opposition to Blair. April 28th, Blair would upload her video, Illuminati Exposed, which served as a direct response to her detractors. Blair had taken drama off of Twitter.
So it was on the first day of viewership. It's the same day he released the videos, he also tweeted
her large audience for the world to see. In this video, she finally showed that she did in fact apologize to Legal Eagle in private. If this was made public, I believe we would not be here right now, as myself and others would not have received questions and pressure from viewers to make a statement.
I don't really believe that. I just don't really buy that.
I don't either.
Maybe it's a legal defense, but I don't think he had to respond. Like, I've gotten messages about like, oh, you talked to this guy once, like talk about him right now. It's like, dude, I don't know. I don't know this guy that much. Like they had more involvement with her, obviously, so there's probably more. There's probably more questions to them, but I don't know if it's reasonable to think they had to respond. They had to come out. They had to expose her even, right?
It's just like, how many people, I understand that there's like people that are insane that would go after Blair herself. But then like how many, like just quantitatively, how many insane people are there then to go look for her old employees and old people she collabed with and like harass them for an opinion to the point that you can't even take it, that you have to respond within 3 days. That's just, again, those are the parts that I find to be a little bit of a stretch.
These people are from like a very different community. Keep in mind, they're from like the fucking, I don't even know what you would call it. I mean, like one topic's not just thin skin. One topic's channel is all like it's literally like gay and bisexual memes, right? Like that's his entire channel. So they're just from a different area of the internet, right? They're not really drama channels. They're not. Blair kind of is, but they're not. They're like Reddit reaction channels, so they have a much lower tolerance for this kind of stuff, I would guess.
They're not like you, you're a Chad YouTube react channel.
Exactly. They're not like me. They're not like me. Thieving content like a goat. They're not like me.
In this video.
But still, I don't think it's reasonable to think they had to come out. I don't blame them for coming out. I don't
on a personal sense, I don't blame them for coming out. I just think using this defense for your reason is insane. Just say, I thought what she was saying was wrong, and I thought she was wrong, and I thought this was the right moment to come out, because that is what it really was. But to say that I didn't want to say anything, and I don't think I would have ever said anything if I wasn't getting her. No, if it wasn't this, there would have been something in a bit later, and because I do think a bit of it was they were looking for an excuse to get it off their chest. Even if at the end of, I do think it's hard to argue that it wasn't that. Just after the thing happens, I find it so hard to find that just the abuse that they were receiving was so much, and that was the only reason they decided to say something.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they thought it would hurt their business. There is like a recent thing I covered which kind of compares this a little bit, not in the same exact way, but you know anything about the Starbucks boycott and like kind of what started that?
I'm well aware, yes.
So just for chat, a little recap, because I talked about this in the Gonzalez thing. Starbucks essentially, their union, the Starbucks Workers Union or whatever, they tweeted out, and that led them to get a bunch of complaints, right? And there were a bunch of like people saying like, you need to boycott Starbucks. So Starbucks was like, well, we don't actually support that. So they ended up suing the union for using their logo, claiming that basically because they looked like them, it seemed like people believed basically that Starbucks was publicly, the Starbucks Corporation itself was saying like, hey guys, we're getting in shit right now. We're getting in shit right now because of this stuff. So the union needs to stop using our shit. That was then used to be like Starbucks supports actually, which they don't really. They didn't want to be supporting either side.
I understand.
So the comparison is like, can you justify Starbucks' lawsuit? I don't know if you can. I don't really know if that's the right or wrong thing, but basically what they're arguing here is like they felt like they had to come out because it was like maybe a risk to their business or something, a risk to their reputation that they were associated with this person who had been doing shitty things, right? But I still feel like they could have just...
That's fair. To be fair, I think that's a better argument than we were just getting pressured. What you just said, that I could buy, right? You could say it was having an effect
from a monetary perspective,
or even from a legal perspective. I think, yeah, and I think even from a legal point, that's a better argument to make. Again, it's all. We can't sit here and argue over like what they should have argued. That's too far. But I just think it's interesting saying like. I don't see 3 days is such a little short period of time to claim that you're getting so much online harassment that you can't take it anymore. That's just my personal opinion, though.
Maybe, but we'll see.
Which is still public. Blair attempted to address the Twitter threads from both Click and Wonder. In doing so, she also used this opportunity to leverage several accusations against them, accusations which she, as it appears based on her actions, had been holding on for nearly 3 years to use at her convenience for an exact moment like this. In my opinion, based on what we see from these events, either Blair knew her evidence was a misrepresentation of facts and only worth sharing as a Hail Mary attempt to destroy someone's reputation, or she willingly held evidence of minors being harmed within Click's server and only reported on it 3 years later when it benefited her.
I mean, this I basically agree with, right? Like Blair did hold it for whenever she thought she needed to use it, right? She basically, once she felt she needed to respond, she cobbled together a bunch of shit to make them look bad. I don't think you can really argue with that. Like,
I don't think even Blair argues that she's a bad person. Or that she's not a bad person, sorry. I think, again, it's just she thinks she's a bad person that was wronged, whereas she thinks she's not a bad person that has done anything illegal. That's the only difference.
okay.
I cannot fathom
But
any
still, like, the point is valid. Like, she did just wait. And if she genuinely believed that the Click was harboring, a Discord server full of files or something, like, why not come out with that earlier? It kind of makes her case look weaker.
other reason for the events transpiring.
I would say it makes her almost as guilty.
Yeah. It's like complicit. Yeah.
Yeah.
way that they have. In fact, back in 2020, by the way she spoke within her messages, Blair seemed very eager to find an opportunity to destroy Click with this exact evidence. Or, to use her words from 2020, nah, I'm not gonna attack Click unless it becomes public gossip or a drama channel picks it up. Then I will nuke him.
Yeah, that's like ridiculous. That's like a ridiculous thing to say. That makes her look really bad, bro. That makes her look really, really bad. It's like, okay, I'm withholding evidence about this file and this YouTuber who could be actively causing harm to his audience by allowing them to interact with adults in a gross way because it's not convenient for me to do so right now, right? Like that's just
I think
it's kind of it's dumb.
Yeah, it's one of two things where either deep down you could say even she herself didn't believe it, which is probably the truth, or like you said, she is actually just so basically evil that even like the knowledge of Billy essentially she's willing to use as a weapon and just hold on to for as long as necessary.
I guess the argument could be made that like maybe like I think it's okay to withhold quote unquote evidence or something of that if the victim themselves don't want the story told. Like let's say the victim had talked to Blair and been like, I don't want it told. But in that case, like why would you go public later? Well, you need to take steps legally, yes, like FBI report.
Oh yeah.
But why would you if you have direct evidence, obviously. But like why would you if that was the case and she was like keeping it quiet for the victim's sake because they didn't want the story told, why break that later? Why break that later? And I think it's obvious. It's silly to even discuss this almost because we know that claim was so ridiculous anyway. But from her perspective, you're going to play devil's advocate, right?
But I don't even accept that though because so what you're saying is true. I think you should respect their wishes if that person is now an adult and they're no longer a minor and they are deciding to be silent about it, right? But if there are still children involved, then no, you do not respect the child's wishes because it's a child.
Well, you should go to
for the same reason.
For a law enforcement reason. I don't think the public. I don't think you have.
Well, the public should never be involved in anything, is my opinion. But sure. I agree.
In this response video, Blair accused Click of some fairly horrendous things, which he did address in full within his own response video. Now, this is a retelling of well-documented public events which transpired publicly. None of this is new information. Blair also had a chapter dedicated to Wonder where she plastered his mental health for the world to see. Wonder is a former employee of Blair's, meaning that Blair had exposed private and sensitive information, also known as PII, which included conversations she had with his therapist, for her entire audience of, at the time, roughly 1.7 million subscribers. Blair also accused Wonder of mistreatment of his dog, as well as other false accusations that Wonder was forced to address. There is, of course, the infamous 3-minute section dedicated to me where Blair is in tears. I have my own opinion on these tears, but I plan to tackle this at a different time, as it serves no purpose here beyond pointing out that, in my opinion, Blair is attempting to leverage private details for public pity, which some people did in fact take at face value and demanded I apologize to Blair on various platforms. This section's cumbersome wording is very particular to the legal side of things that will make sense when looking at her, in my opinion, legal hypocrisy. She played in the mud just as much as everyone else did. I cannot emphasize enough that Blair had taken Click and Wonder's Twitter complaints and negative experiences of her past behavior, complaints made publicly as reasoning for their discontinued association with her after her public folly with Legal Eagle, and would then post a response video where she herself levied accusations against other content creators, which warranted a response to defend themselves against her claims. I understand that to a vast majority of you, this is obvious, but Blair attempts to paint her video as an attempt to de-escalate matters within the original filings of the lawsuit. Ironically, this factual allegation was later mysteriously removed in future amended versions of her legal complaint. 34. Regarding the false...
Was it? That's interesting. The factual allegation about the Discord server in particular, I guess.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Factual allegation. That's kind of a contradictory thing, right? Factual allegation.
Yeah, that's why he's making fun of her. I do have a question though. Has Blair ever addressed Felix the Kit Kat publicly, like the screenshot and the guy who provided?
Not that I have seen, because I think what did Felix the Kit Kat send? Was that the thing regarding the click?
That was the screenshot, correct? Where she asked him to dig up footage of the click using the.
I don't think she ever did, because the clicks video came out after Blair's big Illuminati exposed video.
I see.
So I don't think so.
Accusations listed above, Blair made one public post, attempting to debunk the misinformation. She has not publicly addressed the situation further in an attempt to de-escalate it. While I have my theories on why this was removed, the exact details are unknown. In her current complaint, there is currently no reference to her ever uploading this video or any of the public comments she's made, making it appear as though she never played in the mud, and her criticisms came from nowhere. Here's a quick search in the second amended complaint to demonstrate this.
Thank you, Culture Stutz, being a member for 5 months.
Yeah, but every single one of these amended complaints has a response, right? And it's not insane to not include, you don't have to include every single thing that has ever happened in your complaint, you know? So it's not insane that Blair chose not to include her response because she didn't think it was relevant to the lawsuit. But if he
could the argument be made that she thought it made her look worse, then that's why
yeah, exactly. And that's true. But she doesn't have to. Why would she include it? Is my point. But like, I don't see why that's a problem, because you can just respond with, Your Honor, here's her response video, you know?
Well, I mean, that's true, but as far as the lawsuit, he's making the case that the lawsuit itself is retarded, so she's dragging it out for the purpose of racking up more money on their legal fees, right?
But she's also paying just as much. I don't know if that's his exact reasoning, but as you know, she's paying more.
Matthew Vertu says, keep gooning my favorite Bulgarian Sigma. I will, my friend, I will.
Will be on full display in future chapters within Part 2. More on this, of course, when we reach the legal debunking. Sorry to edge you all on like this with
Stop edging me, Jesus.
this tease, but my point here is that Blair's story has already had numerous revisions, and she sees her video as an attempt at de-escalation. If you recall, among
There
the
has
many
been a
other
lot of amendments made to her complaints. I will say that.
From my perspective, I mean, maybe in her mind, she somehow thought it was de-escalation. Like, she thought that they would stop fucking with her because her shit against them was so strong, and like they would apologize. But with how bad,
she
with how
thought
bad
it's
the info,
de-escalation.
with how bad the info was, like that's not a reasonable thing to assume, right?
Exactly. So she thought like it would nuke them so hard that they would it would be over and it would be de-escalated in that way. But yeah, exactly.
accusations she levies, Blair accused YouTuber The Click of harboring pedophiles in his Discord server. In what world this is a de-escalation, I cannot say. Now, of course, I do believe that Blair is entitled to speak publicly on her personal retelling of events. However, I personally find it to be brash, hypocritical, and even monstrous to then sue those who argue against said retelling of events. Something rocks in glass houses. Following Blair's April 20th video, this would of course follow with a twit longer drafted by Wonder, posted April 29th, in a rapid attempt to defend himself from the multitude of new allegations that Blair had dropped on his doorstep. May 2nd, Click would upload his response, detailing his experiences with Sad Milk as well as what he had personally gone through. Near the end of this video, documentation is shown from an individual who was previously anonymous, which helped provide Click with supporting evidence to bolster his claims as well as to dismantle the many accusations thrown forward by Blair. This individual is now being sued by Blair. His online handle is Felix the Kit Kat.
Felix the Kit Kat, professionally, unprofessionally calls himself. Interesting. So he's the guy who got the screenshot to the Click, basically.
Correct.
And he was an employee of Blair at one point, from what I understand.
Correct.
Tom, have you heard about Creepshow Art returning as dreading? I have heard this is like a rumor that's going around. I don't know if it's 100% confirmed, but I have heard the allegation, but I haven't I haven't really reported on it just because it doesn't seem so dead to rights right now, in my opinion. And if dreading is like a fucking completely innocent party, I wouldn't want to fuck with them, But we'll see if more stuff comes out. We'll see.
Cat. He was a former Discord moderator, later turned manager at Pyramid Entertainment LLC. We will be diving into his portion of the lawsuit later in this video, in dismantling the claims Blair has set forth within her lawsuit. It is of my opinion that Felix has been included for retaliatory reasons, as with him being a former employee, Blair had access to his home address and thus the means to serve him with legal
Why would I watch Sniper Wolf when I can edit for Pokimane? You're really right with that one, bro.
papers. Felix is among the individuals who the new GoFundMe will be aiding. May 11th would be the date that Wonder would release his video, an hour-and-a-half long rebuke of the claims Blair had laid out against him, some of which include refuting the alleged mistreatment of his dog, James, as well as being forced to out-elevate.
James is a crazy name for a dog. It's like naming your dog like Doug. Like, why would you do that? Like, imagine naming your dog Tom. Like, just name it like Fluffles or something. Like normal dog name. I'm just saying. It's kind of unimportant, but I'm just saying, like, that makes sense to me personally.
Elements of his mental health. Wonder was forced to relive his trauma in front of the world because Blair, in my opinion, either recklessly and carelessly or purposefully and meticulously included them as attempts to attack his character and credibility to lower the needed public standard of evidence so she could pin him as being a mentally unstable ingrate who mistreats his dog.
I mean, I definitely agree with that characterization of it. I think that's true. Whether or not the allegations that he put forth are real, I think she definitely tried to discredit him as like a crazy person, basically for the purpose of being like, well, he's wrong because he's crazy. I got him a car, he trashed it, like all of that shit, So
yeah, she's very malicious. She's definitely like about everything she does so far. Like she's seemed malicious. Again, so far it just seems her only argument's been that it's not illegal. But yeah, there's no question. I mean, why would you need to include those stuff?
Yeah, I mean, other than to paint them as crazy, right? Basically.
I also made cameo interviews in this video where I spoke on what I witnessed during the time that Wonder was living with Blair and I, giving third-party account to some of the personal stories that Blair made public. My words in this video were in response to Blair's public comments. I will add that as of this video's production, Wonder has not been served by the courts and is currently on the table for dismissal. If he does get served, the GoFundMe will be at his disposal for legal fees as well. This then leads to Blair's infamous posts made to her YouTube community tab and Twitter.
Why is he not served yet, Tom?
Why is Wonder not served?
Yeah.
I don't know. We haven't really gotten there yet, I think. We haven't really gotten to the big serving thing, but
there is nothing. That's it.
I guess he's hiding, right? That would be the explanation. If you haven't been served for this long.
Yeah. I think
maybe he's just hoping the lawsuit will end before he could be served, so it won't matter. So he doesn't have to like get a lawyer or anything. Couldn't that be the case?
It could be. I don't know. I know the judge asked Blair he has been giving her deadlines, basically to either serve him or it's dismissed. So yes, in a sense, but I'm not sure. I have to double check, but I don't think it gets dismissed if you can't serve someone. It's not like dismissed with prejudice. So I guess at some point she will have to find him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I don't know what his plans are. I don't know why he's hiding. I don't know what his plans are. But usually hiding from a lawsuit if somebody has a valid claim against you. It's not the smartest idea. What are you gonna like wait out the statute of limitations? I'm not sure how long it is.
Are there going to be legal repercussions though? Also, is there a statute on civil cases?
Yes, for causes of action depends. Yes, first
Okay.
of all, but
Like if it takes you too long to serve someone, it gets thrown out. Is that it?
yes, but usually again, it's like a time frame that makes sense relative to the crime. You know, so it's like it's usually not easy to just wait it out. Is my point.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, let's get back into this video then. Let's go. I'm excited. I'm hyped.
26th, speaking on how she intends to clear the false allegations that have surfaced against her. Let's actually
That was this tweet. She made a tweet. Did he? Oh, he is going to read through it.
take a peek at this real quick. Hey everyone, I'm fully aware of the recent false allegations that have surfaced. I want to take a moment to publicly state that I am taking these allegations seriously and am committed to rectifying this situation promptly and appropriately. I understand the concerns and potential impact that these false allegations have caused. My team and I are actively working behind the scenes to gather all relevant facts. I am committed to transparency and accountability throughout this process. Rest assured that I am taking decisive action to address this situation. I will provide updates and communicate any necessary actions as soon as possible.
Probably worth noting here, she hasn't posted a single update publicly since this, as far as I've seen. I mean, I'll check her Twitter account just to make sure. Let's see here. That was a year ago when that was posted. Her last tweet was May 26, 2023, the same time. It's the same copy pasta, basically. Kind of reads as Chat GPT, to be honest with you. But yeah, it seems like she hasn't posted any updates, and I'm curious why. Maybe she's just hoping to post an update when she wins or something. But imagine if she did win. Like, how would the public take that? Would they take it as like Blair's actually in the right, or would they take it as like she wrongfully sued them and won legally, but they were in the right anyway? Like, I'm really curious how that would go for them. And if they did lose, how much money is she going to get from them is another question. For me personally.
Yeah, I think if she wins, the public will listen to her. But I mean, she's gonna have a hard hill either way, whether she wins or loses. But
Yeah.
at least the public will listen to her. I
think regardless
I don't
of if
think
she
it's
wins
black
the
and white.
lawsuit or not, I don't think any YouTubers are going to come around and be her friend again. I'm curious
So
if
that's
there
the
are
thing.
any YouTubers that are friends with her. Who are they? Because if they do exist, they're not talking about it publicly because of how bad her rep is, right? So I'm really curious if there's anyone like that's behind the scenes, like friendly with her, like PewDiePie's texting her, like, "You're still in the right, Blair." Based, you know, like I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't see anyone being friends, and I don't see how she could like some of the things, like I mean, some of the screenshots are screenshots at the end of the day, and this you can't really argue with them, you know. And some of the things that are
Screenshots
already
you mean
out
that
there.
they have posted?
I mean, like I mean, the one that the central one from this lawsuit where he's asking Felix the Kit Kat to find, like the click saying the R word, like that. At this point, you could assume that's real. Like that's pretty much confirmed. Like you can confirm its authenticity, you know.
Right.
So
but the question is if they were legally in the right to
what?
leak that.
She can't. Yeah, but my point is, even if she's not legal, okay, let's say they were wrong. I agree in a legal sense for this lawsuit that is, but about like Blair making it through, even if the lawsuit says they were in the wrong to leak that, it doesn't change the fact that she still said that. She still asked for it. She still did that.
Yeah, she still did.
Right?
And I also don't think the public would give a fuck.
No,
Like I don't think they would like justify it. Like, oh well, I mean the guy who leaked it, you know, he did suck. Like these other people are less a part in the story than her. Like she was the most popular. She's the most hated by extension. You know.
I agree, and I don't think so. I guess one question to ask is, like, do you think? And I think Oz Media sort of thinks this too, but like, I don't think Blair sees this lawsuit as like, oh, I'm duking it out here, like, and I'm fighting it out in this forum so that it's also as though I'm doing it out in the public opinion, you know. Like she knows they're completely different. I think she has come.
She
to
does,
terms that
but
they're
you don't think that she would try to like.
Oh, she would hope
fact,
so. She hopes
the fact
so,
she's posted that statement in the first place. She obviously is hoping if she wins the lawsuit to come out and talk about it and then like move on with her career, right?
But she's also asking for money, and I think that's what she wants. I think she wants her money.
These people even have money.
Wants their money. These people it doesn't matter if they have money. They have houses. They have cars.
That's true. That's true. One of them has a house that's, I mean, financially tied to her in a way.
Yeah, but it's still his house, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, it's mentioned later on, but what's it called? She could like start foreclosing on stuff if she wins the lawsuit. I mean, yeah, they're gonna have to,
If they have
I
to
guess,
file
for
for
bankruptcy. Yeah,
for
they'll have to file
bankruptcy.
for
There you go. I knew you were going to bring up bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Has to happen.
You
Happens
know.
to the best of us.
Yeah.
The bankruptcy
Yeah,
allegations.
Yeah.
Addressing the bankruptcy allegations would be a fire video.
I'm
Thank
not
you to
looking
those of
forward
you
to
who are standing by me
Someone says if Wings and Boogie ever make physical contact, they'll merge into the Great Lolcow. They did. They boxed, bro. They didn't merge in that moment.
Dude, holy shit, Tom. What if you get Wings and Boogie and then you use that bolo thing you were talking about on them and make them one huge tower?
That'd be sick. The baldo. The baldo.
Yeah, the
Not
baldo,
bolo.
the baldo.
Bolo's a legal term. We're talking about the baldo.
The baldo, sorry.
So is this stand up and show us the poopy diaper? Sure, bro. I'll show you. Check this out. You see it's quite full right now. There's a lot of stuff in there. My diaper's quite full. I've got a lot of shit in there. I'm storing it up for the winter because, white boy summer is going to come to an end. I'm going to have some stuff stored up. So that's basically the situation there from my perspective.
during this challenging time. I will not allow these false allegations to be weaponized as a way to silence my voice. I appreciate your patience and understanding during this challenging time. I am dedicated to upholding my channel's values and delivering on our commitments. I am confident that the truth will prevail. Sincerely, Blair Zahn. I would like to note that Blair has been publicly silent on her platform for an entire year on this matter. Blair claimed that false allegations were being weaponized to silence her voice, but she has, in my opinion, been weaponizing the legal system to silence further criticism of her actions. I too, Blair, am confident the truth will prevail, which is why I'm actually breaking my silence, because I'm exhausted with playing the game your way. This would follow with the very next day, Blair sending out cease and desist to first Wonder and then later myself roughly 1 week later, June 5th.
Wait, so the question is, if she managed to send him a cease and desist, was it over email or was it a physical cease and desist? Because if she sent Wonderstruck a cease and desist, wouldn't she be able to serve him too?
Yes.
Can you cease and desist over email? You can, right?
Yeah, you can send a cease and desist in multiple ways. Yeah, so cease and desist is just a notice. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, and up until September of 2023, I would have only made a single Twitter thread.
This MFer talks like an anime protagonist. Stop, for fuck's sake. I mean, he does.
Yeah, he really does.
But all these people do too. Like, they all talk like a fucking anime protagonist. Like, Blair talks like a some kind of anime businesswoman, badass businesswoman. I mean, they've all just got very unique language, I would say. But, it is what it is. I mean, keep in mind, they were all friends at one point, so they're going to have some things in common, right? It's going to happen.
As well as possibly 5 minutes of cameo time in Wonder's video discussing matters which Blair had previously made public. Between the two cease and desists, we would see One Topic release a video discussing his experiences with Sad Milk on June 2nd. His video was made for his audience and acted as more of an open form of communication with those who had questions. It wasn't chock full of screenshots, and he really had nothing to prove. We would then see the release of Swoop's video June 6th, which I was barely even mentioned in. This will be important for the second part.
I've heard rumors about some legal thing with Swoop's video, but I don't really know what the case is there at all, but I guess we'll find out later.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Blair mentions it a bunch in her lawsuit, that's why.
Pinky Button says, I want to see the e-dating. That'll be happening at 9 p.m.
The following week, specifically June 14th, 2023 at 9:03 a.m.
Great question.
Which I would also like to add that these were denied by the court, which is why I had never heard of them until very recently. 2 civil protection orders against myself as well as Wonder were filed by Blair. Blair cites general harassment that she had received as grounds for her civil protection against Wonder. Now, I would...
Civil protection? She's asking for a restraining order? What would that mean? Like, what? She's afraid that they're going to cause physical harm?
He'll explain, but no, it's more of a restraining order to restrain them from speaking publicly about her.
Yeah. Huh.
I'd like to firmly state that if you've ever sent a threat of any kind to Blair, go fuck yourself.
Sorry, one of my friends from high school just texted me asking if the video of the guy with the hat, like punching someone at UFC, asking if it's actually me. Spread the lie. Spread the lie, everyone. I mean the truth. Spread the truth, boys and girls. If anybody ever questions, did Tom actually do that? Just instantly respond with misinformation and say, yes, this is Turkey Tom, and he is a badass. Help me out. Help me out. Do not post this clip. Do not post this clip. Anywhere.
I don't want you in my audience or even remotely associated with me. You're selfish and only stroking your own ego while simultaneously hurting everyone involved. But with that being said, I do want to briefly talk about a few details in the CPO ordered against me, which, again, was denied, where Blair accuses me of beating her dog, Casper. I deeply cared for him, and I find this accusation thrown into a CPO for sympathy from the judge to be revolting. I also, in my personal opinion, believe that this is further evidence of Blair twisting and manipulating facts, or in some cases, just outright lying. How fucking dare you accuse me of beating Casper after everything I did for you and him, which...
To be honest, I don't really think he hit the dog. I don't really see this guy as a dog beater personally. Like,
Yeah, you probably did something that she convinced herself was that, and then she just
he probably like
stretched
pushed
it.
the dog off the couch because it was being
Yeah,
annoying, and then she's like, "He hit the dog! He hit the fucking dog!"
Oh,
Like,
you
I
can
don't- I
just
don't.
imagine Blair.
I can,
That girl
yeah.
that you showed.
Why did you hit the dog? You hit the dog. I'm filing a CPO against you. She's so like she is like the perfect villain because she's such like a fat Karen type creature. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I really do wish she would like play, as he says, play in the mud more. It would be fun as a spectator.
I want to see her publicly just like come on my stream to defend herself. I'll help you, Blair. Listen, I'll be your perfect white knight. Okay, I'll help you out. You just got to roll in the mud a little bit. That's all I'm saying. They hit the Pentagon. True.
Just to be clear, Tom wants to roll in the mud with Blair is what he just said.
Oiled up, roll in the mud. Oiled up, tango in the mud. Mad Max Fury Road style. Based. All right, let's keep watching.
In your own video, Blair, you said it yourself, how much help I provided with Casper. There is more squabble listed within these denied CPOs that are just not worth entertaining at this moment. But if you do have more questions on these, I would like to refer you to Vangelina Skov, as she was able to cover these in full before their removal by the original leaker. Moving
So if a CPO gets denied, does that mean that it's just retarded? Like it's unfounded? There's not enough in it?
Yeah, it just gets rejected.
Like
Basically,
there's not
it
enough
doesn't meet the
evidence
requirements
or whatever for.
Yeah, it just doesn't meet correct. It just doesn't meet
Okay.
the requirements.
Okay. Well, my balls are really fucking itching, chat. The ball does going crazy.
At some point, you can read the judge's specific rejection order if you care.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
on from my personal emotions, the
I'll read
terms
that.
of both said CPOs are this. Petitioner requests that this court order to delete all posts X has made to social media since April 23rd, 2023, pertaining to Sadma, petitioner, or her social media platforms.
So she tried before a lawsuit to get the CPOs done to make it so that they would just delete the posts because in her case is like, well, they're causing a material harm to my life potentially, right? Is that
correct? So
what I'm to
exactly,
assume
exactly. So she tried to. She'll argue the other way around, right? She's like, I filed that restraining order so that I didn't have to file. These are, it's funny. I do think there are arguments she can make. It's not, I don't like, there is, I can imagine in my head, an Illuminati explanation video, because she could argue, this wasn't to harass them, although the
This
dog
is because
line
my life,
is a
my
bit
life
too much.
was in danger. She probably got
Not-
a few posts that were like, fuck you, which
Yeah, or
everybody
not-
gets every day on YouTube. And she was like, I'm in danger.
Well, not even that. She could simply say that was my way of telling them to shut the hell up so that I don't have to sue you. And they kept talking. So,
Is that a good justification, though? Shut the hell up so I don't have to see you. That sounds like super villain-esque, no?
Yeah.
That's like
I agree.
That's like a fucking Dr. Doofenshmirtz type thing right there.
She is. I don't think she can argue that she's not insane.
Yeah. Legally arguing that you're not insane is awesome.
Refrain from posting about petitioner or her social media content on any of his social media accounts or on the social media accounts of others. Refrain from posting in the comments section of any of petitioner's social media accounts. Refrain from interacting in any way with petitioner's social media posts. Refrain from encouraging any third party to post in the comments section of petitioner's social media accounts, or reposting any of petitioner's original content for any purpose. Refrain from making any videos or media posts about petitioner. This, in my opinion, was an attempt at a gag order to prevent all future posting on Blair. Specifically, in my opinion, to lay the groundwork for her to begin her lawsuit unopposed with no worry of public retaliation, as well as to prevent any and all future responses from being posted. It is my opinion that Blair had the motives to silence the critics so she could begin her attempt at rewriting the public narrative, the one we will see shortly within the lawsuit.
I really hate that there's so much build up to the lawsuit stuff. Like, I feel like a lot of this could have been probably condensed and trimmed down. Just a criticism of the video, not necessarily the points, but I kind of wish that we would just get to the lawsuit like within 10 minutes rather than having to get through 25 minutes of this video without any real details. Just saying.
And he doesn't even get into his part of the lawsuit, so.
Does he not?
Nope.
I thought he said he would in the video, in the intro.
No, he says part 2.
Oh, that's going to be part 2.
He follows it up with part 2, yeah.
Okay.
The timeline becomes quiet until July 26th, 2023, where we would see 2 new videos posted about Blair, with their own original stories to tell, one from Cruel World Happy Mind as well as Savannah Marie. Cruel World Happy Mind would detail her alleged experiences with Blair and how, according to Cruel World Happy Mind, while pregnant, she fell subject to a harassment campaign from Blair, and how Blair, in her eyes, actively weaponized a potential loss of pregnancy from how sick the stress made her to silence Madison from Cruel World Happy Mind.
That is a crazy allegation. That is a crazy allegation. Saying that, like, she specifically knew that she was pregnant and could have a miscarriage. So she was like, let's go. Let's get the fuck in there. That is crazy. Now, I think the criticism that Blair... I thought the criticism was something about plagiarism with Cruel World Happy Mind, but I could be misremembering because it's been a while since I saw this stuff. But, yeah. Internet Anarchist and Justice, Blair's just lawsuit maxing, game is game, true. She should have been diaper maxing, but, you know, lawsuit maxing is one way to go about it.
Savannah Marie levies accusations of plagiarism, the second person to make this accusation against Blair. Now, this is where my September video partially begins to come into play. Unfortunately, due to the slow crawl of legal processors, I would only be aware of half of Blair's actions at this time. On August 22nd, 2023, Blair began the official proceedings to put my home into foreclosure. If you are unaware of the details on this, please see my September upload titled, Let's Talk Illuminati Drama Update.
And this was, okay, so let me just refresh my memory here. He got a house, and it wasn't in her name, it was in his name, but he couldn't pay the mortgage or something, and then he asked her for a loan, right? Is that it?
Yes. So he bought a house, and at some point in time, he could not make the payments for, and he needed help, basically, and he asked for a loan. And then in order to pay back that loan, at some point in time, he could also no longer then pay back that loan that he took from Blair. So that's why he had to do his last GoFundMe stream, so that he could basically even out the loan that he took.
The thing I'm so perplexed about is, like, why somebody with 500K subs who, like, gets good views when he does post isn't posting and also is making no money. Like, that's, I feel like having a channel that big with, like, pretty consistent views, like, you could definitely make a good bit of money if you were just posting consistently.
So what was, I wonder what was his upload schedule before all this?
Good question. Okay, we'll go back to 3 years ago. So this one, Snip, this is from June 17th. So let's go to the next one next to Snip. So June 17th, this one was...
I took an IQ test.
June 26th, so 10 days. I feel like it shouldn't be taking you 10 days to get out a Reddit video. Maybe he had other work to do for Blair or something, but it's just he's not uploading nearly enough. Bro needs to upload way more.
So yeah, he claims that during this time he was in an abusive relationship, and that's why.
That's why he didn't upload, okay. But what about now?
Yeah. Also, about the restraining order, just to read the judge's words, he just said there is no temporary restraining order denied, no imminent danger. So that's why it was, because the judge thought that there was no imminent.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the reasoning.
Okay.
In this video, I explain the details of how I even ended up in this position. This foreclosure process was based upon a debt that I had accrued with her while we were dating. I had no warning, no notice of behind payments, no communication that this would be happening. Instead, I found out from a realtor who excitedly told me my condition of foreclosure and asked to purchase my home from me. What a way to wake up.
That's awesome. the realtor went there and was like, hey man, I see you're not making payments. Let me get that house real quick, bro. This is the best day of my life. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I think at some point we're going to have to look at the actual court documents, and again, they look deeper. I need to see the dates of everything, assuming that they had already broken up, and by that point they were already, separated and out of place, right? What did I need to understand? So then, what did Oz Media think would happen with this loan that he has, right? Because the loan, as he mentioned himself, it's a loan that he took from Blair while they were dating, correct? But it's a loan with like a proper loan with documents and a deed and everything that I have seen myself that he signed, right? And in the loan, loan documents, it's a pretty standard loan document where it's, I am loaning you this money so that you can pay for this house. If you don't pay me back based on the agreed upon, payment schedule, then I get to pursue my payment by going after the thing that I helped you buy, the house. So my question is, I understand they were younger, I understand all these things, but even as a young person, I think they were like 21, 20, 19. As a 19-year-old, I'm not signing deeds of trust without, double checking. Like, that's a different level of stupidity. That's just not, that's like, like negligent stupidity at that point. So I don't know.
It is pretty stupid. I mean, the more curious thing to me is like because he kind of says here, he's like, I didn't receive notice of late payments, but like, does that mean
that is way more concerning?
Payments?
So that's more concerning.
You just assume nothing would happen. Like when you don't make payments, correct, like people get mad, right? Like that's why I said we need to look more into the court documents and everything. First of all, I there has to be notice in pretty much in all of law and all of everything. There has to be notice, unless there's like an extreme situation that there has to be
prevents
notice.
There has to be notice. So the fact I don't know. I have not seen anything with my own eyes, so I can't confirm anything. But it would be insane for Blair to sue him for defaulting on a loan without giving him notice of defaulting on said loan. That's just insane.
Right.
But
so either because he kind of says here, he kind of implies very clearly like I wasn't making payments on time. So it's either she didn't notify him on purpose, or she did notify him and he didn't see it, or she did notify him and he's lying now, I guess, is the other option.
Or she notified him, he didn't believe it. There could be so many different reasons. There could be so many things. I truly don't know.
What I'm really curious about is like, with the missing payment stuff, like, wouldn't he have communicated that to her? Like, I can't make the payment this month because of this. Like,
so to be honest with you, this video, what she said when we were like 20 minutes in, where you were like, feels like there isn't that much to it, you're gonna leave this video feeling the same way. And I think, and I'm hoping, and I think the deadline he gives Blair is either tomorrow or after tomorrow. I think he's not gonna answer. She's not gonna answer. I'm hoping she's not gonna answer. And I think there's gonna be a part 2 video. And I'm hoping that part 2 video finally answers all the questions that you have, because this video won't.
It won't. That's fucking sucks. Sneak Over 2 says, I'm at work. Well, I'm glad to know you're watching, bro. Shout out to Sneeko. Hashtag love speech. Hashtag seeks truth through funny. Just driving the forklift around is noting. Well, I'm good to hear you got that job, Sneeko. I mean, I know things have been, times have been tough sometimes between that whole Destiny debate you had recently and just the past few years on the internet have been rough for you. So I'm very thankful for the fact that you're forklift certified. That's based.
To further clarify, as I stated in my September video, I was indeed behind on payments. It is my opinion that Blair introduced a payment structure that she knew I would be destined to fall behind on. I, originally, wasn't concerned, as before I foolishly signed those deeds of trust, Blair assured me that the only way she would get her payments was if I paid or if the home was sold. I never took the time to realize that she meant she could sell my home through...
Wait, okay. The only way she would get her money is if he made the payments or the home
or if the home was
sold.
And then continue what he says here. Just go back 5
foreclosure.
seconds or 10 seconds.
If I knew it to fall behind on. I, originally, wasn't concerned, as before I foolishly signed those deeds of trust, Blair assured me that the only way she would get her payments was if I paid or if the home was sold. I never took the time to realize that she meant she...
So he thought that he would just be able to miss payments and it would be fine forever?
Again, these are questions. Those are the questions I would like him to answer.
Like, that's a
and
very
those are the
silly,
questions he doesn't answer.
That's a very
I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're fucking 16. Nobody expects to get a loan. So if you are, actually it's in law school, actually my contract professor, if someone gives you a loan without a repercussion for not giving it back, that's not a loan, that's called a donation.
Did he read the paperwork or something? Like, did he? I would guess not.
But again, I don't know.
Like, based on this, could you believe that he read the paperwork, or if he did read it, that he even understood what was in it? Because, like,
I could believe that he's stupid enough to be given the full opportunity to read it and not have done it. If he was dumb enough, if Blair told him that I am giving you this loan to buy this house and the only way I could get it back, what did he say? What was his exact words? If
he made payments or if the home was sold. So that implies basically he thought he could
what
just
does
not
that
make
mean?
payments.
Oh no, but you know how dumb if someone tells you, if I tell you I'm giving you this money to buy this car and you either pay me back, the only way it's either you pay me back or I get paid back when the car is sold.
Did he think it would be like when he decides, like when I decide to sell the car personally in 10 years after it's clapped out?
When it's worthless?
Worth nothing? Yeah.
Again, that's what I'm saying. It's negligent stupidity at that point. At that point, it's not just dumb. It's the kind of thing that I see with my family. It's when they see the truth and they don't want to accept it.
I don't even want to shit on this guy, but it's just like that is like such a crazy, silly, stupid thing to say.
Yeah, it's just an insane thought to have. No, like that's not I'm sorry. At that point, you're not smart enough to function in society. If someone told you that and you just assumed, so if I go to a bank and the bank says, I'm giving you this money to buy the house and the only way I get paid is either you pay me back or the house gets sold. What do you think the bank is going to do once you stop paying them back?
Tom, the type of guy to die of fart poisoning. Thank you. That's very flattering. It's so crazy for me, I guess, as somebody who, I mean, I'm younger than he is now, but I'm roughly the same age that he was when he got the house, right? Like I'm 21.
Yes.
Like I just can't fathom like the idea that you thought you could just not make payments and it would be fine.
Literally, I've seen this loan document. On top of it, it says in ginormous, bold, black, like 15-point font, it says deed of trust, right? And it's like, if you get a document like that, even if you're 14 years old, you don't think you need to show it to someone who understands what it says?
But he wasn't 14; he was an adult. But
That's
also,
and he's an adult.
But the other thing about that is also like, a house is like the most expensive thing you can buy. Like you must realize, like it's such a monumental undertaking to buy a house. Like, I had like my parents look at all my shit because they've bought houses before. So maybe he didn't have parents to do it, but if that's the case, like you should at least have, I don't know, fucking.
And Tom, it would be fraud for the bank to sell you a house without you understanding properly what you're doing, right?
Or having the opportunity to understand what you're doing. Having the opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
Because people might not understand, but that's not the bank's obligation if they don't understand.
The bank has to get you
to them.
Correct. They have to walk you to the water. They can't feed you the water. But the bank has to get you there, right? And so this guy bought the house already. So he understood all those loan documents. He understood everything that comes with buying a house. He was mature enough to know that. Now, I'm sure one of his responses is going to be, Blair did it for me. Okay, I think that's probably his biggest explanation, is that he was not even buying the house he was not mature enough to do. And he did because of Blair, which, again, I don't know. You can take either way. But
I mean,
if
that's
you're
possible from a personal perspective, like I understand, like
I could see that.
It could be shitty, but
then it adds a different
token,
layer of stupidity.
Like legally, it's just not a good explanation.
Yeah, it's not. It's not only is it not a good explanation, it's not an acceptable explanation. To say someone again, he tricked me into doing this. It's like, yeah, but like there's got to be some actual fraud. Then you have to be able to prove that because what he's alleging is fraud, right? And so then you go sue her for fraud and get your money. But I don't think she actually committed legal fraud. That's why I keep repeating. I think she's one of the most malicious people in YouTube's scene. But
do you think she was genuinely being sneaky here with this? Do you think she was genuinely like being sneaky
with the house? No, I do not think so.
Okay.
I don't think either of them were. In these disputes, I don't think it's very rare that it's so rare, Tom, for someone to be malicious and plan out their malice years in advance and then sleep on it, in that way. Because like she would be affecting her own life. Like by doing that, by setting up for this, that means like she continued to date him for a period of time. But why would you be wasting your own life? Like that's a different, I mean, I'm sure there are people on earth that do that. I'm sure that, but that's like a different level of malice, to waste your own life, to be like, this guy that I am dating, I am going to I'm going to fraud into buying a house. And I'm going to continue living with this person, It's just with the plan of 1 year from now, when I eventually break up with them, to sue them. I just think, again, I mean, I'm sure there's worse people. I'm sure I could be proven wrong. But you need to prove that, if that's what you're alleging.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. But it's such a retarded, like, I can't fathom the stupidity here.
Yeah, we need the part 2. I really need the part 2, and I need to hear his explanation.
Internet Anarchist says, how old was Oz at the time? I believe he was 19, 20, or 21, but I can't remember the exact
Correct.
age. But I have to look through the archives.
Right,
I know he was an adult, but I don't remember.
I'll tell you right now.
Okay. Sneeko for 5 says, Bebop is my true love, like Young Thugs. The Mac and Moz show says, I made that mistake once and lent a friend $3,000 with no agreement. It was a valuable lesson. Can't blame others for our mistakes. The only time I've ever lent someone money, it was like $1,500 because they hadn't paid their taxes for that year and they were going to be financially fucked. And I gave it to them with no expectation I would ever get it back, and I didn't get it back, so I'm not upset about it. But I didn't think I would ever get it back, to be honest. Yeah,
they started their romantic relationship in May of 2020.
Okay, so
and they began living together in the house that he bought, the house that we're talking about, in January of 2021.
Okay, so he was, I don't know what his birthday is, but I don't know, he was
4 years ago, and I just said he's 24, right? So he was,
so he was 20. Yeah, 20. Why does he look like someone that will come out as trans in the near future? I don't know. You tell me, bro. Thanks for the dono, I guess.
That sounds like wishful thinking.
Could sell my home through foreclosure. If I knew it granted her this power, I would have never signed those documents. Again,
I'm curious if we're going to cover the TBH podcast breaking up and the drama surrounding it. People are going ballistic on Twitter. That's not real, is it? That didn't actually happen. I can't find anything about it, bro. No Name TV, good babe. I don't think this is real at all, brother. Very funny. Very, very funny. You almost got me. You almost got me.
This is all new information. Please go see my September update video. August 29th, 2023, Blair would submit a new set of temporary restraining orders, which were denied, as well as her lawsuit against Felix, Wonder, and myself for defamation and breach of contract. It is of my opinion that Blair timed these events so I could only fight one, the foreclosure or the lawsuit, not both. I do believe that if I did not speak out against her in April,
I mean, that's shitty, but that's some Suits type stuff. Am I wrong? Like that's some like you gotta hit him from both angles. You know, the sneak attack strategy. I'd imagine if I was watching Suits right now, there would be some movie they'd compare it to be like, oh, I did it just like Star Wars, you know. But I mean, that's a shitty thing to do. Undoubtedly, that's a very shitty thing to do. But that's what you do when you want to win, I guess. You know, that's what you do.
I mean, yeah, and she can, again, this is also the first time that their dispute got bad enough and, broken enough that she felt like she couldn't. And if she thinks she has 2 causes of action, she's starting both. I think there's probably, she's been malicious with everything.
She's very malicious. In fairness, he does actually owe her money. So whether she whether she does it before or after the lawsuit, like he does owe her money, right?
Right. And that's the thing is it's like, it's not like these 2 lawsuits are that wildly. One of them was very much true. Like she especially
owing money one.
Yeah. Oh, back then, yeah. That's why he did the whole live stream, right? So he very much owed her money. So that lawsuit he can't. And then he's saying this one he started at the same time. But I don't know. I think she was just. This is when she's pissed and she's just gonna throw evering at this point. I don't think you're giving her more credit than she's due.
She was giving him a grace period, and when he pissed her off, she was like, "Well, time to go crazy mode." Which is to be clear, I don't think that's like a cool thing to do. But like, if you're gonna fucking read Blair's legal strategy, like I guess good strategy, you know. I guess that's a good strategy if you're really trying to fuck him over, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I do want, like, would she not rather drag it out? What would it not be more if she wants to just fuck with him? Would it not be to her benefit to first like drag out one lawsuit and then start another one and drag out another lawsuit, so you're like going through it for such a long period of time? I don't know. She probably just threw all her shit at the wall at the same time.
Massive Orca in chat says, bro couldn't just get money from the government like me. Let him cook, guys. Let him cook. Okay, so what you're telling me, this is an Atrioc bit. Are you recognizing it? We're gonna let him cook.
Yes, I am. I'm letting you.
We're gonna let him cook, okay? So what you're
But
telling
you're not
me,
letting him cook.
I am letting him cook because realistically, what's going on here is you're getting sued. You don't have money.
Okay.
So you just ask the government and they give it to you.
Yeah, I mean this is during COVID. So to be quite honest with you, I don't think he's that wrong. He could have, if they had
I
a
still
business
get.
and they
I got
asked-
like a COVID check not that long ago. They gave me like $500. I was like, sick. What the fuck?
Okay, well, I don't know why they're sending you COVID checks still, but
They are.
But yeah, he could have taken like what is it, the PPP loans that the businesses take, since you're bringing Atrioc.
Yeah, you can get a $10,000 loan with PayPal, guys. Business loan. Genius. There's also payday loans. I mean, there's a lot of options. There's Rocket
He
Money.
should have taken.
There's Klarna. Pay it forward.
And I don't
pay it
think
over time
I don't
with
think
Klarna.
payday loans would be much worse than what
Getting a
she
loan from
got.
Blair.
Yeah, I mean,
Getting
it's
a
not
loan
like
from
she's not a
Blair.
loan shark.
No. She is kind of like a fat, retarded loan shark, and like, you know, not legally speaking, but just like in like a Minecraft sense.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But to be fair, I don't even think. Yeah, I don't remember. I'm not an expert, but obviously her, like the loan rates that she gave, I don't think were anything too crazy. But I'm not, again, an expert. I don't know, truly.
Oh, you mean the APR or whatever on the loan?
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. Lotian says Blair's my short stack goblin. Base! Dude, Vosh would love her as long as she's under 4-1 or something. Tom, what's your view on Mini Lad attempting a return or thinking of a return? I don't really know a lot about Mini Lad. I know a bunch of people called him a pedophile, but I honestly don't know much about the Mini Lad thing. I haven't really looked into it, so I would probably refrain from talking about that at this moment. But if I look into it more, perhaps you'll get some commentary. Oh! Anyway.
She would not have put my home through foreclosure proceedings. With these actions, timed alongside the lawsuit, it does make me firmly believe, in my opinion, it's retaliatory in nature. The restraining order.
I mean, yeah, I agree.
I mean, everything
it is
retaliatory in nature. I don't think even she's not hiding it.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you're probably right. That was her legal swag right there. She's doing it, bro. What if you just manipulated poor people into house loans and did this? You could make so much money. Have you ever heard of 2008? Anyway.
So again, I don't know if you want the exact numbers. Do you want to know the exact loan percentage?
Yeah.
So the loan she gave was 8%, and then 18% late charge fee, which he had for a bunch of them, right? Because all the ones that he was late on, it became there was an 18% charge on them too.
So 8 would seem kind of high for a mortgage to me, but it's a personal loan to pay off a mortgage.
It's a personal loan to pay a mortgage, exactly.
Yeah, so it kind of makes sense.
And I don't think I don't know what the average is from.
Yeah, so Lotan, this wasn't a mortgage. So like a mortgage right now, I think like the average is like fucking, like right now at least around like a nice area like where I live is like 7.2 probably. It's probably average 7.25 or something.
Correct, 7.15.
But keep in mind,
years.
that's not the percent on the house loan. That's not the mortgage. This is the percent on the loan that she gave him personally, so he can make payments for the mortgage and then eventually pay her off.
Yeah, I can give you those amounts too if you want to know right now.
Yeah, I'd be curious. Draws a lot for becoming a member. Ostentations, thank you for the 15 buckaroonies. My go.
So there's multiple ones, loans.
Did he refinance?
This one I'm looking at. No, I think there were just like multiple times that it had to be done, I believe. So one of them is, the biggest one's 53,000.
53,000 was the amount of the mortgage, or the amount
That's
that she took
that's
from
how
him?
much the amount that Blair gave him. Sorry.
Wow, 50 grand. She must have really liked him at that point in time. Jeez, bro.
So and that's what I'm saying. Is like, so you're telling me this woman is giving him a loan this big at a rate that's not predatory. At least not predatory. Maybe even if not great, definitely not predatory. Right? And still like she's doing this with litigation in mind, like planning to sue him. I don't see it.
Now here's the
I
real
don't see
thing.
it.
Here's the real 5D chess that Blair could be doing, okay? Let's say Blair gave him the loan, knowing he wouldn't be able to pay it back, so that later on she could own him if he ever tried to sue her. How many other people have loans with Blair? That's a big question, guys. That's a big question. Maybe she's the 5D master manipulator. Who knows? Glad to see you made bail. Thank you.
I mean, that's kind of what she's accusing. Also, by the way, Tom,
you mean what Oz is accusing?
what he's accusing. Not actually, but yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Also, to tell you the exact amounts, it was one loan was for 134,000.
That was on
and the other one was for 53. No, these are the two loans that he took from her. So he was around 200K in debt to her, or 185 to be more specific.
What?
Yes.
I'd sue him too. What the fuck? 183. If somebody owed me $10,000 and they promised they would give it back and didn't, I would chop their balls off like Tony Soprano.
Yeah. So I don't want to go too hard. I don't want to go too hard without seeing the part 2. But he is, as of right now, claiming that he thought that he was getting a $185,000 loan and he would get to pay it back whenever he felt like it without any repercussions otherwise.
Are you sure on those numbers?
That is what he's. I am going to read right now. This line here is from.
You shouldn't have to read any names or anything.
Yes. Please take notice that you may be affected. This is literally notice to him. Okay. I can say the name of her LLC if you want. But
a personal, it's Pyramid, whatever Productions. We know that.
Yeah. And both. This is actually a different company that gave him.
Which she owes him $200,000. She should foreclose on the house, bitch. Jesus.
Yes.
He owes her $200,000. I would fucking burn the house down and collect insurance money for that. Oh my god.
That's filed a motion with this court claiming to be the owner of those certain promissory notes in the original amount of $134,000 and $53,000, respectively, signed on December 22, 2022. So he signed that paper less than 2 years ago. So he signed that at 22. That wasn't signed when he was 20. That was signed at 22. But effective as of April 2013. Wait, what? How does that make sense?
2013? Didn't know each other back then,
that had to have been a mistake. That had to have been that was some sort of mistake. Yeah, no. Her original court document filings, there was a lot of fuck-ups.
So
but
she
the amount
these
is correct.
into evidence?
This is what I'm reading to you right now is from the specific lawsuit he's talking about in the video where he says she hit me with both lawsuits at the same time.
But it's $200,000. Like I would too, bro. Yes. That's so much money. $200,000. That's life-changing money. That's like fucking $30,000 would like change most people's lives for years. Like if you had $30,000 extra in savings, but $200,000. Even if she's a millionaire, like what the fuck? $200,000? Are you kidding me? Sorry, 180 whatever. Jesus.
185.
That's so. Wait, so why were there two loans he took out then?
One was personally directly from her. The other one was from her company. I can't tell you why exactly. Probably Blair had her own reasons. They were signed on the same day, so it's the same loan.
Wow. All right, let's keep watching, I guess. Jesus.
Orders in question were to once more prevent publication of any information on Blair. In this restraining order, Blair directly cites the video I was originally producing as a documentary on her actions as grounds to allow this pseudo-gag order to proceed. Quoting this TRO, here, however, plaintiff's request for relief will cause defendants no harm because they simply must refrain from publishing what is essentially an online op-ed piece, which they have admitted will lambaste plaintiffs. Should the court deem plaintiffs' claims to be unnecessary, defendants can simply publish their video. Scared of something? Truth being, before we get into more details, Blair could have easily just responded, but the silence and sudden bombardment of legal speaks volumes, Blair. Because please remember, at this point of her filings, I'd only made a public Twitter thread and approximately 5 minutes worth of cameo time in an interview in Wonder's video. I would not be made aware of the lawsuit or legal filings until September 27th.
Man, I wish I could do an interview with this guy. I know he probably shouldn't do it, especially for legal purposes, but I would love to have an interview.
Yeah. Also, he said, just to double check, he said the lawsuit against the three of them and the lawsuit for his house were started at the same time, or did he say the restraining order was filed at the same time?
Let me
Do you
rewind.
remember?
I think he said they were all at the same time. Let me rewind.
Of something. Truth being, before we get into more details, Blair could have easily just responded, but the silence and sudden bombardment of legal
No, this is way before
speaks
that. But it's
volumes,
okay.
Blair. Because please remember, at this point of her filings, I'd only made a public Twitter thread and approximately 5 minutes worth of cameo time in an interview in Wonder's video. I would not be made aware of the lawsuit or legal filings until September 27th, more than a week after my September video was published. I had elected, out of respect for the legal system, to remain silent until now. It's not that I'm lacking respect for it with the publication of this video, I'm lacking respect for Blair and the escapades she's elected to throw me into. The legal
Yeah,
proceedings
nothing
have been...
was filed at the same time, by the way. I'm so confused why he said that.
What were
Just
the,
to be clear,
what were the
that-
dates of the filings?
that-
You have like the
so-
initial filing date?
Yes, I have the initial filing date for everything. The initial filing date, it started off with the temporary restraining order
Which
to get them to shut
was-
up, which was on the 14th of June 2023.
Okay, so when were the
Okay.
next filings?
The next filing would be the lawsuit for the against all three of them.
Okay, and that was
The one that he just said now, which the lawsuit was filed on the 29th of August 2023. He's claiming he found out about it in like September sometime.
so there were months in between then.
So there were months in between
June to
those.
August. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's but then not just that, and then the house foreclosure lawsuit, that one was in December of 2020, December 1, 2023.
So it's not like they
3
happened
months
at the
later.
same exact time. There was time between them.
Yeah, that's why I'm a bit confused why exactly he said that, because they were not at the same time. There was like, I mean, again, look,
Maybe
in a
he's saying
legal
they were
sense,
within
months
close proximity.
Yeah, it's just like at the same time kind of implies, he was handed two lawsuits on the same day. That's what I had going on in my head. But that's not it. There's months in between. But yeah.
grueling.
By the way, Chad, I'm not trying to be a contrarian here. I genuinely just want to know all the facts of the situation. I'm not trying to like. End of the day, like this guy is way less bad than Blair, right? There's no doubt about that. I don't think anyone would argue that. Like Blair is genuinely a very malicious, shitty person, but there's just some like genuine stupidity in the video that I'm not just gonna ignore.
Yeah, I would rather be friends with this guy than Blair. But
Oh yeah, I would. Yeah, any day, any day.
yeah.
From a mix of anxiety-laden sleepless nights to curveballs that throw off my entire day, it can be very difficult to live a normal life when every day is filled with stress and anxiety. Every email notification laced with dread. It's
I want to put you in a gag order, Tommy. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but thank you for the 2.
exhausting. And this video exists because I'm tired. The lawsuit starts with the service in late September, roughly a week or so after my September upload, specifically September 27th. I would be in and out of calls with my lawyer, going over the facts of the matter, looking over everything I could, and providing as much evidence as possible. Unfortunately, I can't just drop a folder of evidence on the judge's desk with a solid nuh-uh and walk away. A shame, really. The inner workings for how the legal proceedings have gone so far are mostly publicly documented
Tom,
by the
I should let me double check. I want to double check. So I did see someone in chat mention or ask if they were served by perhaps on the same day, and I wanted to say that was also not the case. They were served on different days. So
How different?
again, he was served for. So to go back through everything again, the restraining order doesn't even matter. I don't think that's even a factor. They didn't even have to defend that.
Well, it went away,
So that's
right?
whatever. Yeah. So the restraining order is whatever. So we're just going to talk about the other 2 lawsuits. The one that's against all 3 of them, he was served on the 12th of October.
Okay.
Sorry, on the 3rd of October, not the 12th. He was served.
Okay.
And then again, the next lawsuit didn't even start till December, so it doesn't even matter when he was served because it's obviously after December.
My suspicion would be here that unless she like really fucked up this whole loan thing as far as not giving notice, she's probably gonna win that lawsuit, right?
Oh, well, she's already won that lawsuit.
She won it.
What do you mean? I mean that lawsuit
over the
is-
house.
Correct. That lawsuit is closed.
I didn't know that, and she won.
she won in the sense that yes, he does owe her that much money, and yes, he does have to pay her back. And then he went and he did the charity stream, and he got the money, and he paid her back. So there is
Oh,
no cause
I
of
completely
action.
forgot
There's
this
nothing.
detail.
Yeah, there's
Okay, so
nothing
he already paid
for
her
her to
back.
sue on. Yeah, there's nothing for her to sue on.
Hold on, wait. I want to go to the stream and just see that. That was
You probably want to check the live.
fuck. Which
tab.
one is it on the live tab? Oh, my home has been saved. Okay, so donate directly to Streamlabs. So we don't actually know how much money he raised. We'll just scroll to the end. But this is only for 1, 2, 3, 4 house. Wait, how much money? Wait, 32,800 foreclosure cure fund. So this just pushes off the foreclosure, right? But he still owes her money.
So yeah, exactly. He just that was just for what he was behind on the loan.
So he still has
Based
to
on
make
the-
payments to her.
Oh yeah.
Plus
And on his loan.
the mortgage.
Correct.
Brutal. Fucking brutal. Jesus Christ. Okay,
But
so
again, but
so he
there's
didn't
documentation.
he didn't totally. He paid her off for what he was behind on, but he still owes her the remainder of the loan, which is, I mean, who
Yes,
knows what
but
the
she doesn't.
interest
She
that was
can't
racked
sue
up
for
was.
that though.
Because she already won.
Well, because she's not owed anything right now.
Right. But if he makes late payments again, then she's owed again.
Correct. And we're back to
Okay.
go on.
Okay. I'm sorry. That's interesting. Okay. I completely forgot about I don't think I even covered this when it happened. Interesting.
Well, this happened exactly. You did not. This happened after your coverage.
Yeah.
Previously mentioned. If the time comes, I will explore the full timeline of the lawsuit, including Blair's attempts at settling this lawsuit grotesquely in her favor for all parties involved. But for now, I'm leaving these be.
Well, if you're the one asking for a settlement, usually it's in your favor, whether you have the lower hand or the upper hand, you know. I know this from watching Suits, by the way. Just saying.
You're basically a lawyer.
I am, you know, I'm pretty close to Mike Ross. I'm like I don't have a legal degree, but I am a genius, so therefore I'm qualified.
And you have like the opposite of perfect memory, but it's okay.
And I like fucking half black interns, paralegals based.
Once you make it to the outro, my reasoning will make sense. During the proceedings of this
I'm going to
lawsuit,
speed him up a little bit because this is just like,
I was gonna ask you to do that earlier, but
we're going to try 1.25.
H. Bomber Guy would upload not one, but 2 videos covering Blair's prior acts of plagiarism. One being a 40-minute section within a 4-hour-long, 20 million view video, as well as an individually uploaded 20-minute video with over 3 million views focusing exclusively on Blair. More people are aware of Blair because of H. Bomber Guy than they are for any of the other drama-related reasons surrounding her. This timeline will be extremely important
I
for the following
kinda
chapters. Again,
strongly
I implore
disagree
all of you
with
to
that
double-check.
I mean, if you look at the raw numbers, like let's say we have 20 million
yeah,
views
but you
versus
can't look at
whatever.
the raw numbers.
Well, on an individual scale, what you have to look at is cumulatively, right? Like she lists in the lawsuit, like my video, Internet Anarchist video. I think there's probably a Tro video. Like there's all these videos that collectively probably add up. There's probably like fucking 40 million views worth of Illuminati content outside of the Bomber Guy video, right? Like,
Yeah,
there's so many.
and I feel like people already knew all that stuff before the H Bomber guys.
I mean, they knew the really bad details. Maybe they didn't know all the plagiarism stuff, but I mean, even to this day, people are posting videos getting views.
Yeah, and he also keep in mind H Bomber guy tweeted at Blair first before his video. Don't forget that.
Right, he did. A deep dive into Illuminati's disturbing lawsuit. This is a fire thumbnail, by the way. This is a legendary thumbnail.
Illuminaughtii is about to lose.
She had only one photo out there, and when
in the last
that's
year,
been
one
lost in her
situation.
favor.
What'd you say? Sorry.
She has only one photo out there, and that doesn't play to her favor in this, I guess.
No, it doesn't. I wonder how these guys would respond if she wins, because this guy seems to think that she's gonna lose, right? So what if she actually wins somehow? Like, what would the response be? Would it be
If
like
she
I was
wins
wrong, or would it be like
what?
the court? Well, if she wins the defamation lawsuit, basically.
Well, I mean, if everything she said in the family lawsuit is true, then I think I think that does speak for itself. But I don't think there's a chance that she wins everything. Like there hasn't been any actual defamation, for example, for one.
Well, the defamation, because they did, like, what they said was the truth.
Yeah, or what they
Like,
at
the DM
least
was
believed
real.
was the
She
truth.
doesn't argue in the court documents that it wasn't real, right?
No, she does not.
Internet Anarchist says, I'm pretty sure we added up to more than 20 million views. There was like 4 million alone from my channel, and there'll be another couple mil this weekend. Yeah. There's so many. So I think this is like, maybe this is a legal argument you can make, but I assume the way Blair would respond. Blair, if you're watching my stream for my genius responses, okay, you would say something to the effect of like, well, look at the cumulative views from the videos that covered your stuff. Like, what I would do if I was Blair, keep in mind, I hope she's not watching this right now. What I would do if I was Blair is I would go through every single fucking video that even mentions Oz Media in relation to Illuminati, and I would add those all up, basically. And I would be like, look at this, right? And you add up.
That's
the total
kind of, that is actually pretty much what she's been doing. That is sort of what she's been doing all along. So to prove her damages. I have a separate message for Blair, and I want to say, Blair, I know you are now single, and I know Tom is now single, and
evil YouTube.
I think you should DM him.
I just got a house. You might get his house in the end. Like,
you need a house.
I just got a house. You need a house. You have a Bitcoin farm. Oh, I love Bitcoin.
Dude, that's a power couple, dude. Think of the content. Just think.
It would be amazing.
Think of the commentary.
Imagine
you
her
would cover
next to
every single corner of everything. Will be commentated on. There's nothing that will be uncommented.
It would be amazing.
Everything.
And like, I'll be like, because obviously I'm right wing. I'll be the right wing perspective. She'll be like the left wing perspective, and we'll like debate, we'll argue, but in the end we'll come together to save YouTube.
It was gonna be beautiful. Your child is just gonna be one perfect centrist.
Child will be the most retarded person of all time. He would simultaneously extort people for loans brutally, and he would also slander people on YouTube. He would manipulate everyone behind the scenes. He would also be racist. He would call out other people for racism while being racist. Like, it would be like genius. Like, that child would be the GOAT. He would be he'd be the ultimate like lol Like, he'd be based. That would be awesome, dude. She wouldn't fit on the screen. Well, we can always just get a bigger green screen. They sell 20-footers. Just saying. All right, we'll keep watching anyway.
I was only focusing on videos related to the lawsuit in question, as well as all and any first-party sources. This now leads us to Felix.
Luz Nachetta in chat says R-slur, sad face. I assume you're joking, Luz, but if you're not, you probably haven't seen enough of my videos, bro. Wait till you hear the other ones, jeez.
Through the last 9 months, Felix and I have been wading through the murky waters of a lawsuit Blair has set forth. If you're unfamiliar with the nitty-gritty of the legal proceedings at play and still don't recognize who Felix the Kit Kat is, again, this is a former Discord moderator for Blair turned employee at Pyramid Entertainment, the leading plaintiff, in this lawsuit Blair has hoisted us into. As of the time of writing, Felix's motion to dismiss was denied, and he will be proceeding through standard legal proceedings with Blair. I will be going into the specifics of the judge's order shortly, and to firmly clarify, the judge is not connected to or well-educated on the YouTube space, nor the drama which has transpired. He is doing his job and acting according to the documents provided in front of him. More on this soon, as the legal system is far more complicated than an episode of Law and Order may lead you to believe.
But like, he frames this almost as if it's like a bad thing, but like, that's what the judge is supposed to do. The judge, there's so many cases that go through the court system, like the judge can't possibly have knowledge of everything. All he can do is like take the law and apply it to the facts he's presented. Right. So like,
yes, he's
not supposed to be, if anything, he shouldn't know anything about the Illuminati case because he's supposed to be unbiased in this, right? He's not supposed to be biased in his ruling.
Yeah, so I mean, a judge can't imagine like how insane it would be if we expected the judge to go out and look. He's not like a fact finder, right? He doesn't go out there and do that. That's the jury's job, honestly. You know, a judge can only.
But the jury isn't. My understanding is like, so like during trials like OJ, right? They found it very hard to find a jury that would not have an opinion already, a preconceived notion, because they're supposed to find out about the case through the court, right? Through the documents presented.
Yes, correct.
So
even the jury,
like,
it's what they're given.
Yeah, it's like what you show in court, like.
Correct, but yeah, exactly. My point is like, but like judges can't even really make conclusions, you know? Like they only are allowed to. They say they call balls and strikes. They're like referees. They can only like answer questions about the law itself. So in this case, the judge could be very well aware, you know, you could be a Turkey Tom viewer, you know, but at the end of the day, he can only answer the questions that are directly in front of him and play with the cards that are directly in front of him, you know. And so
his job is not to cater to public opinion or like the YouTube context. His job is to cater to what the law says.
Yeah, exactly. It's to apply the law.
To apply the law regarding what is shown in court. What's shown in court.
What is shown in front of him, correct. What both sides. I mean, I've had, you know, I've had so many conversations with lawyers, with Supreme Court judges, I know actually, that my professors have had conversations with, where you're like, this super obvious thing in this case, you know? Why wouldn't you just say this? Why wouldn't you just do this? And their response is, well, none of the lawyers brought it up. And yeah, that's it. If the lawyers didn't bring it up, you can't, as a judge, you know, you can't, because that would be personal bias, right? That would be you bringing in, because then you can decide what facts you want to look at and what you want to ignore and blah, blah, blah. No, you look at what is in front of you and what is put in front of you.
Yeah.
And that's the lawyer's jobs. So whatever he's going to accuse here of, I think, in my personal, from what I've seen, and I've only missed the last few documents, but I feel pretty confident in this judge. And what's it called? The judge has not made a mistake, and I don't see him making one. If there's a mistake, it is because of what was put in front of him, and he made a decision based on what was put in front of him, and they put the wrong things in front of him.
Yeah, in a perfect world. I mean, obviously there are judges that suck. There are judges.
Oh,
that
I'm talking about this judge, because I've seen the court documents, and I've actually seen a court document from this judge saying explicitly that the judge is aware. You know, he's well versed in the law relating to this, and he is well aware. Like he's like read the facts, and he understands what's been put in front of him. Like I know the judge explicitly actually said that. So I don't know.
The Poppy says squatter maxing. Thank you for the 5, brother. It's a game being played in the courtroom. That's what it is, bro.
As a reminder, the lawsuit isn't even out of the starting gate. This could turn into an exhausting fight ahead of all of us, and is far from over for those of us who are directly involved. It'll be my purpose here to present Blair's claims against Felix, the counter towards them, and why I feel these claims were created in bad faith, as well as going over why the judge made his ruling the way he did, as, in my opinion, it helps to shine light into Blair's legal strategy at hand. Referring back to the timeline.
It helps to shine light into Blair's legal strategy at hand. Well, like, whether she has a good legal strategy or not, like, it's supposed to be about the facts of the case, right? Like, so that doesn't particularly matter that much.
I mean, it does matter, but yeah. Again, let's just see what he has to say.
Well, insofar as saying like this is unjust or something, or like it should have been dismissed, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, regardless if he thinks it should be dismissed or not, like, if he thinks that it's at least worth hearing in a court, like him saying it's worth hearing in a court and not dismissing it does not mean he thinks Blair is right. He's just like, well, it deserves to go.
Oh yeah, yes. So in a motion to dismiss, right? It gets the judge. There's a moving party, aka the party that is asking for it to get dismissed. In this case, that's Felix the Kit Kat. And then there is the party that is defending against the dismissal. What is in front of the judge to decide? The question is whether the case should be thrown out without ever getting to a jury. That is a huge thing to ask of a judge. So for a judge to make that decision, they need to be convinced that there is absolutely nothing for a jury to decide. And with what's in front of him, it is very obvious that there is absolutely no chance for Blair to survive in the lawsuit, even if every single thing she has said so far is absolutely true. That is the lens that the judge is looking at this thing, right? So to him, if the judge accepts the motion to dismiss, that means that there is absolutely no way, even if everything Blair said so far is true, it still does not amount to a breach of contract and a breach of confidentiality by Felix the Kit Kat. Whereas on the other end, if the motion doesn't get dismissed, that means that there is still the actual facts to argue over. There's still the literal entire lawsuit to still go through. It just means there is literally more than a 0% chance that she wins. Anything more than 0 essentially survives a motion to dismiss.
John Doe, enjoy your ban in my chat for being a degenerate troll saying I was muted. You're retarded. Fuck you. Kind of looks like John Swan. True.
Provided earlier. On May 2nd, 2023, YouTuber The Click, a comedy and meme channel, this will be an important distinction for later, produced his response to the April 20th video, Illuminati Exposed, where Blair had levied multiple allegations of misconduct against Click. Click responded to these accusations with a 30-minute response to an 8-minute chapter within Blair's video, thoroughly, in my opinion, clearing his name. I would also like to give the information specifically in this case to Blair and her lawyers that I did not reach out to Felix, nor had contact with Felix since his departure from Pyramid Entertainment LLC until April 24th, where Felix would initially reach out to me, as seen here. He would later reach out once again shortly after Blair's public video, where he felt that Blair had improperly retold events, as Felix was a direct witness to what had transpired with Click. Felix, of his own volition, wanted to help set the record straight on information unrelated to the operations of Pyramid Entertainment LLC. Within Click's video, the final chapter includes screenshots from a redacted individual. This individual in question was Felix the Kit Kat. In these screenshots, Felix provides documentation of Blair offering him $200 to sift through prior Sad Milk recordings to find evidence of Click using the R word. These screenshots in question are what Blair is suing for defamation, as well as breach of contract.
So the claim is that it's unrelated to Pyramid LLC, right? Like, he's her employee, but she offered to pay him outside of the bounds of the employee thing, which, if I had to guess, in the employee agreement, it probably wasn't stated that, like, he'd be digging stuff up on their enemies, right? If I had to guess.
So that is correct. I don't know if that is enough, because it just depends if it is in his employee capacity that he did for her. I think the more crucial issue is, I think if he was her, from what I see there, like, if he is an employee of hers under a contract and under a confidentiality agreement for his employment at that time, and he was employed, then I would say I understand why to the public that is, again, obviously a bad request, right? But it's unquestionably something a boss, no one can argue, it's something a boss asked his employee to do for them.
Well,
right?
here's a question, okay? Would it make a difference in the case if she got an invoice and paid him through how she usually pays employees, or added it to like an existing invoice for like employee compensation, or if she personally like Venmoed him $200 to do it? Like, would that make a difference legally speaking?
Those are all, yes, they would make a difference. I cannot speak on those differences. I think those are for the judge and for the lawyers who know more than me to look at. I like, those are like questions of, like, you have to look at case law, you have to look at,
precedents, I guess.
Yeah, exactly, and what constitutes work product, and I'm not well versed enough to speak on that.
But I guess the argument from her could be like, well, it was related to my business because I was trying to take down one of my competitors or something, or somebody who was trying to harm
precisely
my business,
exactly. No, let's say, you know what, let's say she was specifically trying to take down his competitor. That is still something you can ask your employee. You can ask someone to do that for you. You can
Corporate
ask someone to
espionage.
dig up dirt. Yes, you could ask someone to dig up dirt on you.
What is not included within this lawsuit, however, is the screenshot evidence provided by Felix of Blair owning the alt account that was created to harass Click, as well as his cohorts in 2020. Take this information as you will. Blair is willing to sue over a DM showing her paying one of her, at the time, Discord moderators $200 to dig up dirt on a prior collaborator, but Blair is not suing about the disclosure of information about owning an alt account to harass other YouTubers.
Well, because she definitely did it. That's because she definitely 1000% did that, right? That's basically implication there.
So I was reading the judge's document. I missed that. So.
I'll just rewind it for a sec.
Milk recordings to find evidence of Click using the R word. These screenshots in question are what Blair is suing for defamation, as well as breach of contract. What is not included within this lawsuit, however, is the screenshot evidence provided by Felix of Blair owning the alt account that was created to harass Click, as well as his cohorts in 2020. Take this information as you will. Blair is willing to sue over a DM showing her paying one of her, at the time, Discord moderators $200 to dig up dirt on a prior collaborator, but Blair is not suing about the disclosure of information about owning an alt account to harass other YouTubers.
Well, because she did do that, right?
Yes, exactly.
She did do that.
And
So
who disclosed that to? Who disclosed it?
Felix the Kit
The
Kat.
second part. Felix the Cat disclosed both, is what he's saying.
I believe so. Let me rewind it again.
Evidence provided by
so
Felix of Blair
confusing.
owning the alt account that was
Evidence provided by Felix of Blair owning the alt account.
Okay. So, well, but it depends. Okay, I understand his point, but I guess it all depends on when he was an employee. Maybe at this time he wasn't an employee, and the other time he was. So the other one was work product. I think the reason, again, it's easier for her to go after the other one is because it seems like work product to me, to a layperson. If you, my only question is, was he under the contract at that point in time? Because if it is, it's really hard for you to argue that was not, like, that he was employed, but that was not a part of his employment.
I'm curious if she asked him to do that multiple times. Like, if this was the only time, if there was other times, right? 'Cause then her
I
argument
feel like
probably
if there was,
stronger, right?
yes, again, but it also, again, it all comes down to whether it was done when he was under that contract. And you know, I'm gonna save this for another day. I do have the contracts, I think, or at some point I will. We can look through it, but I'm gonna give Oz Media until after tomorrow to talk about himself. So
Innocent Arcat in
that's
chat
when-
claims he wasn't employed when he was digging up dirt. Okay, interesting.
yeah. So that's what they're all claiming, is that he was not employed when he was digging up dirt.
Right. Pink Pony 265 for 5 says, "Hey, I'm not gay and you're not gay, but do you want to go on a date?" Absolutely, yeah.
created to harass Click as well as his cohorts in 2020.
I'm gonna pee
Take
out
this
later.
information as you will. Blair is willing to sue over a DM showing her paying one of her, at the time, Discord moderators $200 to dig up dirt on a prior collaborator, but Blair is not suing about the disclosure of information about owning an alt account to harass other YouTubers. Take that as you will. The claims against Felix the Kit Kat listed within the lawsuit are as follows. If you want the drama attached to the individual filings, you can visit Madcaster's channel where he's
To be clear, from my moral perspective, do I think these people did anything wrong in exposing Blair? Not really. I'm just questioning from the legal perspective, are they going to get fucked up, right? Are they going to get seriously fucked up? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But from my perspective, I don't really blame them for coming out about Blair personally, like on a personal level, on a moral, ethical level from how I feel. The question is just like, could she fuck them legally? Maybe. Who knows? We'll see.
broken down each filing for the layman, as well as Evangelina Skov, and more recently Tamimi. Up first, as claims against Felix, whose full name will be censored using orange. Defendant Felix is a former employee of plaintiffs. As a note, his employment began at or around the time of May 5th, 2021. As disclosed in the factual allegation number 18, Blair states, defendant Felix signed a confidentiality agreement on May 5th, 2021, signed the Felix agreement, which all employees are required to sign as a condition of employment. 63. Felix is in violation of this Felix agreement by turning over private messages between himself and Blair to another YouTuber, Mark Drek, to exploit in a YouTube video made to slander plaintiffs. This video is available at, the YouTube link, and is titled Illuminati and Sad Milk. The video was not produced, as Blair stated, to slander plaintiffs. This video, made by Click, was in self-defense from Blair. Felix came to the aid of someone defending themselves. What Blair has done in this lawsuit is completely remove any and all instances or references of her public statements to make it appear as though any attack against her is slanderous. Please recall the previous removal of factual allegation 34.
So these are the
from
parts that
prior
are
version of
related
the
to
lawsuit.
defamation.
Again,
That's why it's like such a mixed, that's such a weird video and such a mixed bag, is because Blair, like, in the same lawsuit where she's suing them for defamation, she's also suing them for breach of their employment contract. So you've got a breach of employment contract lawsuit and the defamation lawsuit in the same one. So she's trying to prove like two things at once. So that's why she includes some shit, doesn't include some other stuff. That's the reason, but it's just
Right.
again weird.
Again, 34. Regarding the false accusations listed above, Blair made one public post, attempting to debunk the misinformation. She has not publicly addressed this situation further in an attempt to de-escalate it. Once more, mention of this no longer exists within the lawsuit. The screenshot in question happened November 10th, 2020, nearly 7 months before Felix's employment under Pyramid Entertainment. The NDA should not cover private messages.
Oh, so it was before. It was before, according to this guy.
So this is
gonna read-
before
Blair
he
made one
worked for
public
her?
post, attempting
That's
to
what he
debunk the
says, yeah.
misinformation. She has not publicly addressed this situation further in an attempt to de-escalate it. Once more, mention of this no longer exists within the lawsuit. The screenshot in question happened November 10th, 2020, nearly 7 months before Felix's employment under Pyramid Entertainment. The NDA
So wouldn't that kind of fuck her? Isn't she kind of fucked then?
So then my follow-up question is, if that is the case, why would you not mention this in your motion to dismiss?
Did they not?
Right? Because remember what I told you about the judge? The judge has to... No, they did not. This was not mentioned in their in his motion to dismiss. So when I told
Why?
the judge takes... He says... I don't know. Let's see what reason he gives. I have no idea why this would not be mentioned. Would this not be like the single...
Did they not
sentence
remember?
have?
Like, I feel like that'd be a
I don't know.
big...
I don't know. No, it's just insane because like to go through a motion to dismiss, like it takes months. It's like a process. It doesn't happen overnight, you know? I don't know. No idea.
NDA should not cover private messages unrelated to Pyramid LLC. It appears to me that Blair is attempting to claim that every conversation she has ever had with an employee throughout all of time, even matters unrelated to Pyramid Entertainment, are under NDA.
What would it take to have you wrap both of those bulging pythons around under my neck? $1,000. Thanks for the 5, Jacob. $1,000, and I'm not contractually obligated, and I don't have to do it if I don't want to, but send me $1,000 anyway.
NDA. These DMs were in specific relation to a group collaboration channel known as Sad Milk, which included the likes of Damian Lee, Flinders, Hi I'm Wonder, One Topic, The Click, Salty, and myself. and of course Blair. Sad Milk is operated as a different corporate entity with its own distinct EIN, known as Wet Sox LLC, which is a sibling company to Pyramid Entertainment. Both are owned by the same umbrella company that holds my debt. If any argument were to be made about this being work contributed by Felix, the actions taken were not in service to Pyramid Entertainment, but instead Wet Sox LLC. However, there was no employment contract or NDA attached to these actions in service to Wet Sox.
So there's a third company.
The files in question.
Wet Sox for Sad Milk, yes.
So the Wet Sox LLC owns Sad Milk. Pyramid Entertainment
Owns Illuminati.
owns Illuminaughtii, right? And 9 Point Holdings
Owns both of them.
owns both of them, and is owned
She's
by.
got a literal pyramid going on. That's crazy.
Yeah, like an actual pyramid scheme.
Well, I wouldn't say pyramid scheme, but it's a pyramid.
yeah, it's an Illuminati.
Just a visual pyramid.
Are related to old audio recordings of Sad Milk videos, not Pyramid. It is also important to point out that these actions in question were not, to my knowledge, normal company practice to specifically target employees who were low on money to dig up dirt on prior collaborators of Blair's. Then to pay said employee with a PayPal transaction. To further add, Click was contracted talent for Wet Sox LLC, as Blair herself demonstrated at 11:14 in her own video, where she briefly shows on screen the Sad Milk Entertainment contract, which she refers to as the agreement. I would also like to add that if this was official company business, there should be a documented 1099 form or other specific documentation to show the payments to Felix are properly documented for specifically Pyramid Entertainment. After talking with Felix,
I would agree with this guy. That's kind of what I mentioned earlier, right? Like, was the payment made with a business purpose? Like, was it listed on an invoice as a business purpose, exposing this, the Click or whatever business purpose? Because if it wasn't, I feel like that's not a good showing in her favor.
Well, but these are things that Blair knows, right? So I have not. So what's her plan? I agree with you. I don't know the law, so I'm not gonna apply what you said to it. Maybe that's irrelevant. I don't know. I don't know how expansive the law is as to for this circumstance. For the purpose of confidentiality agreements, what is work product? I really can't speak on it. Usually, though, I believe it's determined by the contract itself, right? So the judge would just look at the paper itself, and the paper would say what is covered as work product and what is not. Okay, but now presuming that he's right, he wasn't hired, and this is not work product. Like, Blair knows that, right? So then I do wonder. So what's her game plan? I don't think she.
I don't know.
I don't think that she's doing this just to mess with them. It's been going on for a year. If he has spent $40,000 so far, she spent more. She I know a little bit more behind the scenes knowledge. She hired a private investigator to find Wonderstruck to serve him.
Right.
So I know for a fact she has much more expenses.
And Wonder has stopped talking about all of this publicly, as far as I'm aware.
Does he even exist online? Has he posted anything at all?
Let's see. I don't know. I don't think so. Wonderstruck guy. So his channel here looks like the High on Wonder channel he's posting. So this one he hasn't posted for a year. This is the Wonderstruck guy channel, the one he exposed Illuminati on. This High on Wonder channel.
He's been tweeting. Yeah,
he does post on this one. He does post on this one. He's actually got a pretty decent sized channel.
You've got
no idea.
Little Turkey Tom Click right there.
You've got mail.
The guy that I'm seeing tell me to give him a massage. Going on, like,
He made like
lol cow content.
And it's interesting because he made the first video, right? Like the full big video from the three of them. He's the first one to make one.
To my remembrance, yes. To my knowledge.
Yeah. So and then but since that video, he's just gone radio silent.
Well, he does post videos
In the story,
on this.
Well, he's
channel,
gone radio silent on the topic. Sorry.
but he still posts.
Answered when on November
Like a new
1st, 2020, Mark uploaded a video to his channel titled "This Place Is." Second, 2021, Mark hosted a 42-minute live stream.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. So he hasn't totally escaped the world,
and being shown as TurboTax filing from 2020, I can confidently state neither this 1099 nor any form of company documentation exists to specify this payment as being directly in service of Pyramid Entertainment. As of this time, we only have a PayPal transfer listed as video review. Mind you, there are no PayPal transfer fees attached to this amount. PayPal takes a fee for business-related transactions. This can range widely, but the common fee for a company transfer is 3.49%, with an additional 49 cents per transaction. This means that this transaction is most likely listed internally with PayPal as a friends and family transfer, as before July 20.
Right, which would mean it's not for business purposes, like I said, according to him. So yeah.
28th, 2022, it was
This
possible
is a decent, I mean, I don't know the whole legal system, but for my layman's knowledge of fucking nothing, it seems like a decent defense.
for a business PayPal account to send money via a friends and family transfer. This transfer was made in November of 2020, nearly 2 years before this policy change occurred. To me, in my opinion, based on the evidence I have in front of me, this appears to be an under-the-table task assigned to him with no documentation of how that money was categorized, with the payment being labeled within PayPal as friends and family, similar to
Right.
paying your neighbor's kid to mow the lawn. And on top of that, the assignment was specifically in service to Wet Sox, not Pyramid Entertainment LLC, and specifically involved prior contractors, Click, of Wet Sox LLC, not Pyramid Entertainment. In my eyes, I see this as Blair retroactively changing the events of 2020 to fit her narrative within the lawsuit. The simple truth is, this conversation was held November of 2020, and he was hired May of 2021. Blair is trying to claim that these were company communications and has framed it as such to make the lawsuit stick. Factual claim 64.
If everything he's saying here is true, then that seems like a pretty good defense to me.
I agree.
If
It's
everything he's
just
saying is true.
yeah, but it would have to go. Now that I could see it going to trial for that point. So I don't know. We'll have to see for that specific
Regarding
this
these
point,
messages,
because this has
defendant
already
Felix
survived the motion to dismiss. Like spoiler alert, the motion to dismiss got rejected.
So for whatever reason, the judge thinks that this should be seen in court.
Correct.
Did selectively pick messages to create the appearance that Blair made statements that she did not. He thereby created a false narrative that was damaging to the plaintiffs. Felix, when the lawsuit was served to him, more on why that's on air quotes later, posted on Twitter informing the public of his circumstance, while also providing the full context of the screenshot in question, which provides no room to argue for cherry picking, as Blair has argued in her suit. Blair does later in the suit confirm the validity of these screenshots by stating she cross-referenced them in her own DMs. But in my opinion, the full context here makes her look worse. These messages were provided to help clear a former collaborator's name of accusations brought against him by Blair. Here's the full context for those DMs. Blair sending a message at 11/10/2020, 8:57 p.m. Hey, are you still short on rent? Rent, no electric and phone. Yes, I am at negative $2 right now. No idea what I'm going to do for lunch tomorrow, but I'm at the fuck it, I'll figure it out phase of my life. Blair, I have something for you, but it's a little tedious. I mean, my life is nothing but tedium, so I can do it. I need you to work with blank to help me find Click saying the R slur in Sad Milk's raw audio. I can do that. Let me get a shower and I'll be down.
The fact these guys even agreed to ever do this in the first place is super fucked up, though. I will say that. Like,
I mean,
like this person, Felix Kickout was complicit. He helped her out, you know?
Oh, all of them were complicit. That's the thing that I have. That's the elephant in the room that no one is implying, and what everyone
Well,
is.
all
You know,
of them.
is
I mean,
acting.
this guy was. I don't know if all of them knew everything that she was doing.
Was Oz Media not dating her for years? I mean, if it's such a it's such polar opposites that we're expected to believe that like Blair is this pure evil on one side, and these people who were this closely tied to her did not know of her evil, were not complicit, did not play a role, did not have a hand. I don't know. I don't know. It just seems unlikely, but.
So instead, if you needed rent money and food, would you decline money like that? I mean, personally, I probably would. Yeah, decline that. Even if you need to rent, because it's just such a wrong thing to do. Like you're literally dragging down someone else's career intentionally for the purpose
It's
of
not
like,
even
saving
that,
yourself. It's very shitty.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know what? That's my point. It's like I would be. Maybe I wouldn't say no. I see the chatter's point. I don't think I would say no, right? But I would not be like I would hide it. I would be ashamed of it, exactly as you said.
You wouldn't expose her for it after the fact?
Yeah, no shot. Ever. I'm ever letting that know. That's something that's dying with Blair and I, you know? And it's like, why would you stick, and now look what you did to yourself. And
Well, I
it's
guess it was like, I mean, maybe retroactively he thought he did the wrong thing or something like that. And that's fine, but the point stands, like you did it in the first place, you know?
Yeah, I guess, that is fair. I guess you did retroactively, but then here's the repercussions.
Someone
just
says,
because you
Tom, it's
retroactive
more
was.
fucked up that they left a paper trail or digital trail. This type of stuff you do behind closed doors and in person. People need to start being 10% smarter. I mean, I guess if you're looking at like a Machiavellian perspective, I think it's more fucked up to do it than to not hide it well, undoubtedly.
Yeah, who's
I think it's more fucked up to do it in general, to be honest with you. Like, I don't think it's
leave the money behind an alley.
Basically, what you're writing is like, oh, well, it's more fucked up that they got caught than that they did it. It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not at all. That's very wrong. I completely disagree with that.
She claims he said it in a Sad Milk video, but I can't remember which one. And she's over her head with shit. I'll pay you $200 to find it. Yep, just hand me the files and I can get started. $200 will help quite a bit. The portion redacted here is a link to a Google Drive. There's that file and a file in the file. Most will have Discord calls, and I think it happened within the first 10 minutes. I'll check the whole recording to be sure, so I'm looking at all 4 folders. Just go into the published file. The very next day, Felix would receive payment from Blair for, quote, video review, end quote. As a reminder, within clicks...
This makes Felix look so good. Looks so good. Regarding these messages, defendant blank edited selectively picked messages to create the appearance that blank made statements she did not. He thereby created a false narrative that's damaging to plaintiffs.
Video, this was the screenshot originally shown. Now, the next few sections are nearly 50 points down the line and highly segregated as we enter into her claims of relief. The other skip points involve myself as well as Wonder, who was never formally served in this lawsuit. Starting with the 7th claim of relief, defamation per quad, as to defendant Felix. 108, Blair and Pyramid hereby incorporate the previous paragraphs by reference as though each were fully set forth therein. 109, on or about May 2nd, 2023, defendant Felix published a public Twitter X post from one of his Twitter X accounts, @Felix the Kit Kat. Now, I believe this is a clerical error, as Felix did not tweet on any of the dates.
How are they still in the same video? It's an hour and 7 minutes long, bro. That's fucking how. Jeez.
Surrounding May 2nd. I believe Blair is referring to this tweet in question, made November 23rd of 2023.
Like nothing was said.
This statement implies that Blair committed the tort of abuse of process, alleging A, an ulterior motive for the use of a judicial proceeding to retaliate for defendant Felix's post-employment actions, B, the willful use of legal proceedings in an improper matter, trying to force a default judgment with...
I'm curious why skip the 50 points in between, but I guess because he's going to do a follow-up video. The 50 points that
Yeah, there's well, exactly. So many, everything, it's all one complaint.
But it's just like being divided into 5 different fucking videos.
It could, yeah, into 5 videos, and yeah. But to be fair,
without problem.
Yeah, I don't know, actually. I wish he would defend himself too, but he's giving her a chance to, I guess, stop that.
I don't think that's going to happen.
It hasn't happened.
Serving defendant Felix. C, damages, an impending default judgment against defendant Felix. 111. These statements are false, and defendant Felix made the statement with negligent disregard for its falsity. Process server, redacted, signed a declaration that she served defendant Felix on September 26, 2023 at his place of abode, handing the required legal documents to an individual matching defendant Felix's physical description. Felix was never directly handed papers. Instead, the papers were delivered by mail to an address he lives 2 hours away from.
So are they claiming that the person who served him lied, or claimed to serve him lied?
Yeah.
Huh. That would be interesting. Does that happen often in cases where someone just lies about having served someone?
No, it doesn't. And I do wonder how the court reacted. I don't think they really did, so they probably were convinced it's a regular mistake. A lot of these things also, like, they just sort it out in the courtroom in the moment, you know?
What do you mean regular mistake? How would you sign a document saying you handed it to someone in person?
Well, they could have handed it to a different person.
You could just say a different person that looked like him also lives there where he used to live or something?
I don't know. I truly no idea. But yeah, that does seem, I mean, I delivered documents to X with, it's very explicit.
It just seems like such a, weird thing to focus on, I will say. Like,
But it could be like, I could see, like, if someone comes to my house and they say, they say my brother's name, I could see myself saying, yeah. Okay. You know, because, and if you continue, and because that's what it says, that the individual appeared to be a brown-haired white male, contact, whatever, and just description. So I could see it, yeah.
How many brown-haired white males are there, you know?
There's only 2.
Only 2 in the world.
While he was just getting off of work, 2 hours away from the stated address. The papers were never formally handed to Felix. Felix's sister found an envelope in the mail with regular U.S. postage labeled to Felix on or around October 6th. This directly opposes the processor's claim of lie.
That's like complete, like, he's saying, like, that's not even a person. That's like a mailbox. So I don't know. I don't know. I have nothing to say on it. That's like
what do you mean huge lie? Like, it would be a huge lie for someone to lie about having served when it was actually
to claim that you I mean, there's a big difference between, like, exactly, like, servicing someone in person and servicing someone through mail. And again,
if you do it through mail, you don't even know if they got it, you know.
You can there are laws
what it is.
Yeah, so there are, if it's like at your house and your residence and the domicile and such, but yeah, there's extra requirements.
Directly handing it to Felix. What I find interesting is that this appeared in a mailbox with postage and was within a standard mailing period from September 26th. Yet, there are claims of this being handed directly to Felix. These papers would have been delivered to Felix's stepbrother's home within the official legal filing September 27, 2023 at 6:40 p.m. This address is not his usual place of abode, which is even distinguished, despite the redactions I've made, by not being the address given for Felix in the very lawsuit Blair filed. At the time of delivery, Felix would need to drive nearly 150 miles an hour directly after his shift at work to be at said address in time to receive the papers from said processor. While it's not much, Felix has provided me with screenshots of him speaking with his girlfriend about arriving home at 7 p.m. after work. To reiterate, Felix was never formally given papers, despite what the processor claims. Instead, they were mailed to his stepfather, and a proof of service filing was made. The argument of us theorizing that Blair was trying to get a default judgment against Felix comes from the fact that after the service attempt, nearly every day afterwards, Felix would check in with the Colorado courts for an official proof of service to be filed, so he could begin his legal battle. However, proof of service was not filed until after the time required for Felix to respond. When papers are served,
am I retarded to question why would you be checking for proof of service when you don't think you've been served, or?
Yeah, well, I think he knew that he was supposed to be served, is what he's saying.
Okay,
Like,
he knew he was supposed to be
supposed-
served, but he wasn't actually served. So that's why he
Yeah,
was checking.
yeah, and I mean, and like what he's about to say right now, but like this is not really a factor. Like I do think, I don't know. I honestly, they're saying he's arguing that like this was all like Blair's, like, you know, big brain idea where but the moment it comes out, like, even if to get a default judgment, once she gets the default judgments and it shows up and the guy's like, I wasn't even served process, like I wasn't processed anything, like the judgment won't stand. So like I don't think, again, I don't know. I don't think that's her thing, but I could be wrong.
Zemo Nitrum says, I can't believe Felix PewDiePie did this. True.
a response is due
Went
within
straight from the
21
bridge
days,
to-
but 35 days for out-of-state parties within Colorado after service. So this would have been either October 31st or November 1st, depending on if the day of service counts towards the allotted time. Proof of service was not filed with the courts until November 17th, more than 2 weeks after, meaning that Felix would have defaulted. Even my lawyer was caught off guard by these actions. Plaintiff's attorneys filed a proof of service on Felix today. The service was back in September. Not sure why they're just filing the proof today. Felix's answer should have been filed by the end of October based on the service date. Allegation 112. Defendant Felix's statement caused special damages as evident by the fact that plaintiff's revenue from videos dropped by more than 95% after defendant's tweet/X was published.
But I think this is a retarded claim from Blair because it's the idea that one DM is what like ruined her whole shit. Like that's just not. She was gonna
like
lose
that
it
throughout.
regardless. You know, like regardless of that one DM being real or not. I think she still would have been totally fucked, honestly.
So then I guess my question is, which would you say, like, because I don't think it was just the legal eagle situation that fucked, like that ended Blair, right? It was that plus everything afterwards.
Right, but I don't know that this one. I think that even without that DM, they would have had enough. Like, even if they didn't have the point about her digging up old dirt and her friends,
correct,
the false allegation probably was enough, I think.
So
I mean, that's my
guess,
personal opinion. The court will have to decide that, I guess, but that's just how I feel about it, you know?
And that's exactly, and that's what the court will decide. If it's determined that what he did was, again, breach and blah, 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 and it was defamatory, then yeah. If it with defamation, then it would be everything. But yeah. We'll have to see for the judge to decide.
Yeah, Emma Ellis Return says, hi, Tom, here's $10 for making me feel better about living in Maine. LOL. I don't know why I'd make you feel better. You should feel worse. The knowledge that I'm out on the streets and you could see me at any moment and I could be a fucking beast. I could be Mr. Beast or Mrs. Beast. But thank you for the $10. Appreciate it. What do you mean feel better? It's like the fucking most peaceful state. You shouldn't feel bad about it. Anyway.
$74,646 in the period of November 23rd, 2022, December 23rd, 2022, to $2,751.72.
What a fall off, brother. What a fucking fall off. 74 grand in a month to not even 3 grand in a month. That is fucking crazy. One of the greatest fall offs of all time, undeniably. Like literally, the Illuminati story is so crazy and is so compelling, if not for all the details, just for the fact that the fall off was so crazy.
I wouldn't be surprised if she had mental health problems as a result. Like that shit traumatizes someone for life. Like I don't see her.
I mean, it's kind of implied she already had mental health problems by
it's true,
this factor, right? Like I wouldn't be. Yeah. I mean, she was already like conniving, like manipulative, like it's a little evil. Like
but
she
this
definitely
is-
had
but
mental
now-
health issues, but now I bet she's not feeling too good.
Yeah.
When you go from making 74 grand a month to 3 grand a month, yeah, I would assume it's a bad feeling. Probably, honestly.
Damn.
Damn.
That's so much.
It's such a
I mean,
fall-off.
yeah, she has probably a way smaller staff now, but still.
If any staff, I mean, she hasn't posted for 3 months, so who knows if she has any.
Oh, she stopped posting.
It's been 3 months since the last video.
Damn.
Yeah. And
During
I
that-
assume if you click on that video, how much you want to bet it's literally all people being like, you fucking suck. Because her latest video had 75K views, which is higher than the average. So if I had to guess, a lot of these views are recent. Comments are turned off. Oh, you can't even click the comments. Only 750 likes, though, on a video with 770,000 views. It should have, like, at least 4,000 likes. Fucking own, bitch. God damn. Did she turn off comments on all of her videos? Let's see this one.
I think she probably turned it off on her channel.
Yeah, she did. Let's just scroll back and see. The comments turned off. Let's sort by most popular to see if it's not just the most recent ones.
Again,
Yeah,
so
all
many of
turned
her
off.
questions. Yeah, so many of her things, like her moves, baffle me. Okay, I understand doing this, but then why would you give people? Because she did this recently. This was not. So why would you give people
there were
this
comments
long?
the last time I checked, but it might have been.
Yeah. So why would you give people this long to shit on you and then turn it off? Either just turn it on because you don't care and you're so cool and you're so brave and you know you're gonna get through it, or turn off from the beginning so you don't have this onslaught of hate from the get-go.
Maybe she's
Now
hoping
you've
she
got,
can
like,
like
the worst of both
post videos from now on and be fine and just ignore like the comments are off, so it won't matter. If she creates a new standard for the channel, there's no
I think she should have
comments.
done that from the beginning.
Probably,
but I don't think
but
I
she
don't
didn't.
think
She's not the smartest person in the world. We've established that.
Oh yeah,
now.
oh yeah, and I also don't think a channel like hers will survive, can exist without comments.
Maybe not. I mean, I feel like her videos are generic, and I feel like the community interaction doesn't matter that much. You know.
You don't think commentary videos get interacted with in general more than usual? I feel like there's almost like a dialogue type thing with your
There is, but
comments,
like with
you know?
her, like she didn't really have like a community. Like she was kind of. It's so content farmy. It's so impersonal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only
Like,
personal part
I
is
don't-
her being like, rich people suck. You know.
I think my guess when this all happened was she will just make another account with AI voice and do the exact same thing. And
That's
try
what I
to
would
just,
do.
Yeah.
Just hire a voice
I mean-
actor. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
that same period
You know,
a year later.
Tom,
Blair's
I'm sure
listing
you
a
already have
job
a
of
list of
revenue
girls
from a
for her.
specific date period and ignoring the fact
She'll be
that
my commentary e-girl. Yeah, someone said, didn't she get nuked by the H-Bomber guy plagiarism video? I mean, it helped, but she was nuked before then, to be honest with you.
her revenue had begun to decline far before then. The official date, April 20th, 2023.
Like the H-Bomber guy video, when did that even come out? Like 3 months ago, maybe at the max? Let's check. It was 6 months ago? Damn, time flies. Okay, but even so, this was after the drama with her was like a year ago, so this was way after. Like she was already falling off. and
Yeah,
not getting
6 months
views.
ago. It's like after the lawsuit had already started.
Yeah.
So which
Three
is
is
yeah,
when we
and then
can
I
Well,
will
and if
say
you look at her
this-
channel, so this is 6 months ago. If you look at the views she was getting before that, before 6 months ago, let's just go on her channel and check. Like, go to the videos tab. So, I mean, 6 months ago, she was only getting like 30, 40, 50K views on videos. Some of them even way lower.
Yeah, I think she was gonna. But I do want to say one thing about the argument he's about to make right now, which is that her views were dropping from way earlier. I think yes, but it's unquestionable that her views started declining as a result of the legal situation. But obviously, it wouldn't have been this drastic. So if they're found at fault, I don't think they can be like, you know, oh, she already started declining beforehand, because she could simply say, yeah, I started declining, but then I apologized on the 28th and you guys had already tweeted by the 23rd, so my apology meant nothing. But if you guys had, like, if you hadn't said anything by the 28th when I apologized, the decline would have stopped. So
Right.
she would very likely argue that everything since then is at least their fault. You know?
Right.
see the first damage being done to her subscriber count. This is also the day she levied accusations against Legal Eagle. And then, of course, following her upload of the Illuminati exposed video, the viewership damage is fairly evident, especially in the following weeks where she
Right, maybe she would make the case she only created that video for the purpose of defending herself against the accusations from people like Oz, right? That would probably be part of her defense.
Yeah.
saw a rapid decline. I find it to be personally dishonest to claim that Felix's GoFundMe tweet was responsible for the drop in revenue reported, as there had been a long-standing consistent drop of revenue for each month prior. Not to mention, of course, in that date range, this includes the H-Bomber Guy videos, which had a collective 23 million views between the two of them. 113. Blair suffered non-economic and special damages, as explained in paragraph 112 of the complaint.
Non-economic in an amount to be proved at trial. Does that mean like mental health? Non-economic and special?
Yeah.
My fifis got hurt? Yeah.
As a result of defendant
I
Felix's
mean, to be
publications,
fair, in
in an
this
amount to be
situation, it's
proven.
a bit more than Fifi's. And if again, in a world where they are at fault, yeah, I think she's got more than a valid claim to make for her Fifi's being hurt.
In that world.
Yes, in that world.
But we don't know. We don't know if we're in that world.
We're not in that world. We're in a world right now that is for the judge to decide, or the jury, I guess.
Been at trial. I can only assume this is her talking about the general backlash and emotional turmoil this situation has thrown her into. Again, as I'm sure I'll be saying this thousands of times, if you send threats of any kind towards Blair, you're worse than her. Again, the damages Blair is suffering is of her own doing. The only reason any of us are in this position is because of the actions Blair initially took on April 20th, 2023. Eighth claim for relief, defamation per quad as to defendant Felix. 114, Blair and Pyramid hereby incorporate the previous paragraphs by reference as though they were fully set forth therein. 115.
When I was a child, I ate rocks to fill the void in my heart because I had no friends and my mother blamed me for trapping her with my dad. I don't know where to begin with that, but enjoy your life, I guess.
On or about May 2nd,
Why did
2023,
you stop when you
Mark
got
Deck
older?
posted to his public YouTube account, The Click, a video
Must be
titled
hungry.
Illuminati and Sad Milk, which contains screenshots from defendant Oz and Felix, intended for publication by Deck, available at YouTube link and timestamp. I also just want to add that Click's name is public. 116, the Illuminati and Sad Milk video displayed a redacted screenshot of a Discord conversation. 117, upon information and belief, the relevant redacted portions obscured the username Felix the Kit Kat, the username of defendant Felix. 118, upon information and belief, Click is Mark Dreck. It's actually Mark Deck, and he's pretty public with this. It's the name of his public music channel after all. 119,
Genius.
Blair asked Felix to find Mark Dreck saying the R-slur in Sad Milk's raw audio. 120, defendant Felix then asserts that Blair, though she publicly disapproves of the R-slur, uses it in private. 121, this statement carries a defamatory meaning because it implies that Blair is both a hypocrite and a bigot. Her words, not mine. 122,
Well, yeah, it is her words. Obviously, it's her lawsuit. Like, that's what it
So-
implies. But she's gonna argue
Yeah,
like
so-
she's gonna argue that's not the case, and she doesn't use the R slur in private, right?
So this is why what I meant by she has like two causes of action. One is for specifically for breaching the contract, which we talked about, the employment contract. But separate from that, she's saying even if that were not the case, even if he were not my employee, he still defamed me by implying that I use the R word when I don't.
Right. Right. So I guess their entire thing for proving the case is going to be to find Blair using the word retarded, basically.
Yeah, and I do think I think the defamation case is way harder than the employment case.
To disprove.
To prove
in-
for Blair to prove, because well, I guess because the employment case they have a
couldn't they have
stronger
just said
argument
like
to make.
that's our personal opinion from personal experience? Like they didn't qualify like what date she said it or like when she said it or like at this time or like they could just say like couldn't they just testify like well I heard her say it?
Well, there's a lot of again. I don't want to litigate this here with you, but like her side will say by posting it as a screenshot with nothing more, right? That he is saying factually that she did say this, or that she does believe this, when as that's not the case. Again, there are a lot of back and forths that you and I honestly, I think our back and forth won't really matter. Because they're gonna push both sides, but I do think personally, I think the employment situation is closer.
Okay.
Defendant Felix published this statement with negligent
Thank you,
disregard
Vince.
for its truthfulness because he concedes that he has no proof to substantiate his claim. In 2020, Blair had revealed to me that she had used a service to scrub her Twitter of all and any inappropriate or cancelable language that she may have tweeted. Evidence of this can actually be found by the fact that there's a massive removal of tweets on a single day shown by her Social Blade. I had to purchase a Social Blade premium subscription to get this data down to the day as shown. However, as I've come to learn, that service that Blair
This is
used
really
to
that
mass
important
delete tweets
until the end.
doesn't scan media or screenshots. Blair famously went after Click for using the R word 14 years ago. Blair at one point has stated that the word has never been in her vocabulary and that even with 10 years of time, it's inexcusable that he would use this word, despite this being his second language and being the early 2010s, and America's cultural exports use this word frequently. Family Guy, South.
Also, it's base to say, it's not even base, it's just normal to say retard, like whatever.
Park, Black Eyed Peas. Blair can be seen in this tweet using the exact word in question that she condemns and damns others.
Fucking idiot alert. Is idiot the word retard? Oh, no, you're fucking retarded. Oh, so this is her messaging Vinzilla saying, no, you're fucking retarded in 2017, which is, okay. I mean, that's a good find. That's definitely a good find. Would the argument, though, be like, from her be like, well, that was in public, like this was in private. But then the defamation claim falls apart because she did say it here. She did say retard here.
Yes, yeah. So that's why I think that's why I said the defamation one is way weaker, because I think that's
she's like, you made me look like a bigot. I would be a bigot if I said the word retarded, and here she is apparently saying it.
So these are all things that never came out in the motion to dismiss. Now I will say, Oz Media has his own motion to dismiss, and I don't know what he's including there. And if he's done his homework this well, I do think, like, to an extent, your legal team can only represent you as well, especially with stupid ass situations like YouTube stuff, you know?
Right.
Like, your legal team only has what you give them. And so if maybe this Felix the Kika guy was not that smart, and hopefully Oz Media is smarter and his motion to dismiss will be better. But we'll look at that later too.
Right, okay.
For using, only 3 years prior to her stating, that word was never in my vocabulary. According to Blair, even 10 years is inexcusable. Link to the tweet below at the bottom of the description. One of the reasons Blair is suing Felix is for defamation because of a DM where he claimed that Blair has used the R word in private. Well,
I wonder if that tweet is still up. Bottom of the description. Here we go.
So that's my point, is if he's employed, it literally doesn't matter. That's not a factor whether Blair has used the R word before, if he's an employee. Because if it's an employee, it's simply, I asked you to do something for me and you told other people about it. You know? Knowing that it would harm the business. But this is for the defamation stuff, and yeah, I mean, for that, there's literally a public tweet still available from her own page.
Right. I mean, she kind of fucked up there.
Yeah.
She fucked up majorly there.
But there is also no point to her deleting
words, genuinely people being snowflakes. I mean, you should just say them all anyway. But, yeah.
Here she is using it in public as an insult. Now, personally, I'd like to keep the R-word discourse out of it. The main focus here is the hypocrisy at play because it's plain as day. I actually think that Blair's lawyer put it best, because implies that Blair is both a hypocrite and a bigot. 123. Defendant Felix's statements caused special damages, as evident by the fact that plaintiff's revenue from videos dropped by about 50% after defendant Felix's defamatory statements were published in the Illuminati and Sadmuck video from $37,981 in the period of May 2nd to June 1st, 2022, to $19,274.85 during that same period a year later. 124. Blair suffered non-economic and special damages, as explained in paragraph 123 of the complaint.
So she's basically laying out the timeline, being like, well, at this date, I was making this much money. After that came out, I was
that's
making
what
this
she
much
does
money.
throughout the whole lawsuit.
In this one, she's like, well, I made less money month over month, right? Based on his statement, right? That's what she's saying, basically. Like,
yeah, so what she does in her lawsuit is she finds the date for all of their first statements. So Oz Media's first statement, Felix the Kit Kat's first statement, and Wonderstruck's first statement. And she says, this is how much I was making the year before they made the statement, and this is how much I'm making a year later.
Right.
And this shows how much money I've lost as a result of their statement.
Right.
Now, it's up to the judge and the jury to decide how much of that is actually like a factor, but yeah.
As a result of defendant Felix's publications in an amount to be proved at trial. The economic damages in question, again, are not solely caused by Felix providing those screenshots. Blair is seemingly electing to avoid mentioning that at this time. There are far more factors at play. Thankfully, the timeline provided earlier helps cleanly spell this out for any parties watching who are unfamiliar. The only way that I can read Blair's current filings, in my view, is that Blair appears to be purposely misleading the judge to try and paint the situation of her being unjustly attacked for no reason, and excluding any mention that she was, in fact, the initial aggressor.
The judge's order.
This brings me to the present where we are now. After Felix submitting a motion to dismiss, which argues the lawsuit should be essentially tossed, the judge ruled in Blair's favor for the lawsuit to continue. Matt Pastor has some great videos diving into this and going over each party's arguments. I don't think we have the time to sit down and go through the nearly 20 plus pages of documents arguing case law in relation to this suit just for Felix. I will point out, though, from what I could see, Felix's lawyer took the route of trying to argue the claims itself and the legal standing, as I'm unsure if, at this phase of the suit, if facts can be presented in argumentation of a case's legitimacy. As both defendant parties,
they can't.
At this point in the suit, facts can't be. You can't add extra facts from what's alleged in the complaint to defend yourself. So that's probably why they did not. I don't know about the employment part, if that plays a fact. But that's most likely why they didn't respond with, this is her saying the R word in the past. You can't introduce new things.
Gotcha.
included have forgone including the nitty-gritty facts of the matter and instead focused on tackling the claims on their merit to stand on their own and utilizing case law on the matter to challenge the arguments at play. However, it seems that Blair was able to eke out a temporary victory with her presentation of the claims. First and foremost, the judge is following procedure as his duties describe according to Colorado law, which outlines that plaintiffs be given, in my opinion for this specific case in question, an unreasonable amount of benefit of the doubt. Even if Blair has a fraction of a percent of a chance for her claims to prevail, the courts must hear them out beyond.
Well, that's
obviously an insane statement.
That's the point of the legal system. Right? Beyond a reasonable doubt is the entire basis of the legal system, right?
Imagine if I could get you start the lawsuit, you want to sue me, and I can get it thrown out before it even gets to a jury for anything that's less than 100% proven that your lawsuit doesn't have any.
But the point of the trial is that it goes to trial and is proven there.
That's the point of the Constitution.
Right? Yeah.
So that's literally the Constitution explicitly says you need a jury of your trial. So anything you do to prevent someone from getting to that, you have to be 200% correct about.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's silly. Fuck the legal system.
The motion to dismiss. This is my understanding of the law that the judge has put as his reasoning, which, while frustrating, I understand. This is not the judge blatantly siding with Blair. This is him doing his job.
Well, at least he says that. That's good.
Yeah.
As quoting, dismissing a complaint only if it appeared beyond a doubt that the plaintiff could prove no set of facts that would entitle him or her to relief, the trial court still accepts all allegations in the complaint as true and views them in the light most favorable to the plaintiff. However, facts pleaded as legal conclusions, i.e. boilerplate or conclusory allegations, such as those that merely repeat the statutory language, are no longer entitled to the presumption that they are true. They must be supported by specific factual allegations sufficient to raise the right to relief above the speculative level. Simply asserting a legal conclusion, bereft of any supporting factual allegations, does not state a plausible claim for relief. Viewing the amended complaint in the light most favorable to the plaintiff, the court accepts that the portion of the YouTube video referenced in paragraph 63 and 64 of the complaint is the same as the one displayed via screenshots in paragraph 116 to 20, which has the same link. It shows Blair instructing her.
All right, I kind of want to skip to his conclusion. I'm getting a little bored.
I think
anything
this
really
is
good in here?
Yeah, this part actually specifically is the judge's explanation as to why he decided the way he did.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
it shows
like
Blair.
what you would
That's what he
expect.
says. Yeah, he says the screenshot, right? It says accepts that the portion of the YouTube video referenced in 63, 64. So that's the clicks YouTube video.
Yeah.
Okay. Is the same as the one displayed via the screenshot. So it's saying the screenshot was actually used in the video. And it's saying, and from those, it shows that that Blair instructed her employee, Felix the Kit Kat, to do whatever task it is and offered to pay him $200 for it. According to the judge, that's enough. That's like what's called. Because
That's
look,
enough.
I mean, and look, the judge says Sad Milk is a YouTube channel created and managed by Pyramid. But according to Oz Media, that's not true.
Right.
So these are all things that will get sorted in the trial. But it was just not enough to prevent it from getting to trial. Now you can skip if you want, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to kind of skip towards the end here.
I don't know where, but you want to get to the settlement part. It's the next thing that actually matters. I don't know when she's.
Continues.
There's
I
like
know-
a title card if you want to look for it.
I can always control F for settlement in the transcript. Control F.
There's
for
he does a
settle.
title card for it if you want to just like mouse over it.
Let's see here. I just didn't quite see it. Let's see here. So that's at 103. Here we go. Okay. So it's right around here, I would guess.
Here we are. The outro, per se. As I mentioned earlier, I'm making Blair an offer, publicly, to put an end to
Thank you,
this.
Stray Cat, for
To
coming
any
over.
questions beforehand regarding the new GoFundMe, if Blair does accept this offer, I will be refunding it in full, as I only plan to utilize that funding if she decides the lawsuit will be moving forward. Because of this, however, this does mean that for the next month, I'm on the hook for my own legal bills. And as of today, this is going to be a rough month, as this one's out of pocket, so it looks like it's the mini-wheats diet for me. If this lawsuit continues, I know that on my end, I could be looking at anywhere from $4,000 to possibly $10,000 monthly, as seen by this invoice for the last 2 weeks.
Fucking brutal, Jesus.
The reason for this potential settlement offer is that I'm not thrilled at the idea of spending a majority of my 20s, possibly the next 2 years, stuck in legal litigation in opposition to Blair. I just want to be able to live my life. The stress from the lawsuit, the foreclosure, it feels nearly never ending, and I'm tired of waking up in the middle of the night, stressed with chest pain and dread. I'm tired of dreading every email notification. The legal system is exhausting. But while the legal and foreclosure stress have been very present and constant in my life, even with the foreclosure ending in December, it's not the only reason I'm considering this potential settlement agreement. In my personal life, there is an ongoing source of both grief and stress and factors that I'm still trying to process and have been unable to process because of everything going on around me.
Black screen, so it's less obvious how red my face is. This took several takes to get through, and I apologize for the... So he's saying he's got some personal stuff going on as a result. It's particularly stressful. I mean, that may be the case, but I don't think that Blair gives a fuck. I don't think Blair gives a shit about that. I mean, why would she? No. She's already trying to own him with the house thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. With keeping details sparse out of respect for my partner and with their approval, we've had to deal with the heartbreak of a miscarriage throughout all of this. Its occurrence was unexpected, and because of the day-to-day stress of the lawsuit, we've been unable to process, heal, and...
A miscarriage?
Yeah, apparently while all this was going on,
why would you knock her up right now? Jesus.
So, I mean, there's two sides to this. One is it's funny because, like, Blair's big thing, right? One of her biggest argument is that he's a jealous ex who did all this because Blair got into a new relationship.
But he is trying to have a kid.
But here he is apparently knocking someone up, yeah.
Right. I'm just so curious. Why? Maybe it was an accident. Why choose now to try to knock her up, bro?
I mean...
Seems like the worst fucking time ever.
To claim that you yourself are having, chest pains, and you yourself have all these headaches and have all these problems, and then on top of all that, you got his court. I mean, $40,000 so far afterwards, and as recently as December, you weren't able to pay Blair back. As recently as 2022, if you know what's interesting is again, I don't know about how predatory this loan was, but assuming that if the loan was actually not predatory, then Blair saved his house. She literally saved his house, because with a bank, Tom, if you stop making payments, right, they don't give you a chance to really clear your shit out. There's immediately an acceleration clause. You immediately owe them the entire loan if you miss a payment.
In a way,
they will come sell your house. Not in a way. She literally saved his house.
Well, but okay, because he could say, did she do it for the right reasons or whatever? Is just what I.
Okay, so that's the other part. That's why I said assuming the loan is not predatory, right? If the loan is predatory, all that's all extra. But that was in 2022. December of 20. This is not even 2023. December of 2022. This guy signed said predatory loan application. And by June of 2024, he already had a miscarriage. I'm not going to talk about someone's life decisions, but I think it's a bit insane bringing someone into the world, when you got all that going on.
Yeah. I mean, I personally probably wouldn't be trying to have a child when I'm in that much debt. I mean, it's not even like he's in debt, like college debt when he's young, right? He's in personal debt to someone, and he's not really making money to pay for anything, like his house payments or anything. He's not really posting a lot of it. I mean... Obviously, if he actually went through a miscarriage, that's fucking horrible. Like, that fucking blows.
No, it's awful. It's awful.
It's like the worst possible thing that could happen to you. But also, don't knock
yourself
in
that situation while you have all this going on is also awful.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. This video just got fucking nuts at the end. Jeez, bro.
And move forward from this loss. We've had to shelve these emotions and push forward, and it's been hard on both of us. And I just want the opportunity to heal with my partner in peace. And which is why I'm even considering giving Blair the settlement. I ask that you respect my privacy of myself and my partner until such a time that we are comfortable making details known.
So,
what is the settlement? How does that benefit Blair in any way?
He's going to get that in a second, but I'm assuming Blair was not aware of this until now.
The miscarriage? Probably not. I don't think he would tell her. He'd be like, hey, man, just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, and I think earlier on... yeah, and earlier on he says like, this is the last time I spoke to Blair, you know. And I
Right.
think what's it called? So in a way, to get back to our initial question, remember when we started this, so we said, why is he making this video? I think it is actually a lot of it to appeal. It's not to pressure. It is actually to appeal to her humanity.
Do you think so?
I definitely think so. Yeah, it's a bit of a begging play.
I doubt it's gonna work. I don't think she has a lot of humanity.
Yeah. If she's
Not that I
as
blame
evil
her
as
for
they make her
trying,
to seem.
But I don't think. I mean, she doesn't seem to have a lot of humanity based on everything I've seen. Like she's fucking. She's a little evil.
Someone who sets out a predatory loan with their own boyfriend with the intent of, according to the boyfriend himself,
If we
you know,
assume that's
foreclosing on the house. Yeah, but I'm taking Oz Media's own words.
Right.
You know, so based on his own beliefs, based on what he's saying, that person is not nice enough to give up on potentially, you know, thousands of dollars that she can make back after having already spent tens of thousands of dollars.
Right.
I don't see it. I don't see it. Wishful thinking. If it worked, we would be getting a lot more YouTube settlement offers than we do.
I would be shocked if she even changes anything.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like she's gonna be
don't
like.
think
I feel like she's gonna add this to the lawsuit. Be like,
she's not even going to add this to the lawsuit.
Oz Media claimed that I caused a miscarriage. You know.
Yeah, and you know, and at one point he there's like a clip in this where he's like, yeah, and Blair, even though I'm giving you this offer, I want you to know that I am fully willing to fight it out and yada yada yada, and he says all that stuff. But if I'm Blair, I'm like, oh, this is a sign of weakness from the other side, right? If it was concrete 10 months in, he wouldn't be making a video like essentially begging me to put an end to it. No matter how you say it, it's like he is asking her to put an end to it, and that shows, again, for a ruthless person's perspective, some sign of weakness. But yeah.
Someone in chat says, could he just say fuck it and just declare bankruptcy? Good question. Could he?
So what does that mean? Like lose the lawsuit, and then after he loses the lawsuit, and then file for bankruptcy?
I guess.
I mean, first of all, so if he does that, he will have to give up everything he owns.
Yeah.
Then why not just fight it out until you go broke? Why just say fuck it?
Yeah, I guess so, right? Yeah, I mean, he's already at this point. Why even do that when people are paying for the legal stuff anyway? At this point, right? His audience is paying for the legal fees.
It's nothing. 33. I don't know how much more there is, and I mean, right now we saw 27K.
I mean, I assume if he needs more, he'll ask for more, but he's already spent 40. Yeah. He's raised another 30, so that puts him at a total of 70. So, I mean, he could just ask again. They'd probably fund it, you know?
Yeah, I wonder how much he got from the first fundraiser. You think how many? I don't know. I don't know how many times you probably know better than me. How many times you can squeeze your audience for money? But
it depends. I mean, it really depends. Like sometimes they'll just do it indefinitely. To be honest with you, it really depends on the situation. People hate Illuminati enough and think she's a piece of shit enough to keep funding it. You know, they feel bad enough for this guy. Not saying he's doing this in a malicious way, but hearing somebody had a personal miscarriage and is really going through it is another reason
I agree.
I feel bad enough to donate. I'm not saying he did that maliciously. I'm just saying, you know, it's a reason.
Yeah, I think it would depend on his part too. But I do think, I don't think he can fundraise the entire lawsuit if it continues, and I think he's going to run into problems.
Maybe
that's my opinion.
I'm not doing this.
I think he's going to run into problems with the house.
I'm doing this for my
everything.
Think of the dono fry guy.
Partner and I's future. If Blair doesn't accept the following offer, let alone negotiate, so be it. I have no problem with continuing forward. I have no problem with continuing to pursue this until the end, as I do not fear the outcome of the case, especially after the judge's recent orders. More on that if/when part 2 is released. My settlement to you, Blair, would allow you to follow the morals that your channel has advocated for, or in your words, be dedicated to upholding your channel's
values. He is really appealing to her humanity here, for
values
sure.
And delivering on your commitments. Or, as this handy video you uploaded a week before you sent out cease and desist states.
When something as horrible as this happens, people always come out and admit fault and tell the horrifying truth of their continued negligence and malpractice, right? Yeah, you're right, that never happens. What am I thinking? Instead, they usually do their best to hide everything and blame anyone but themselves, and wouldn't you know it, that's exactly what happened here too.
My settlement offer is for you to drop the
clip.
lawsuit, for all parties involved. Even Wonder, with prejudice. I won't file counterclaims and would no longer be required to upload the second part to this video. And what do you get? A chance to prove your side of the story, or even take accountability for your actions. If you proceed with this lawsuit, by the time that it's done, especially with what's left of the judge's order, there would be no platform for you to return to, as you still need to answer for not just me, but for everyone else.
He is appealing to her humanity, and he's appealing to the idea that she could come back if she speaks her mind on it. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think her humanity is already gone. She's kind of a psycho. She's like a psycho bitch. There's no way. Yeah. There's literally no way she's going to take this settlement offer. It doesn't really benefit her. She's already this deep into the lawsuit. Why would she stop now?
Yeah. She's not even just this deep into the lawsuit. She's this deep into being a bad person.
Yeah.
And the internet, you don't. I know you like to think you do, but you don't come back from something like that when you're that far in. I don't know. I don't see him. I think.
I mean, the thing for her is it wasn't one controversy. It was like 20 that happened at once and all came out. So that's the problem. Like she kind of is.
Yeah, it's just like her as a person. Yeah, exactly. It's people think that she as a human being is wrong.
Is like fundamentally bad to the core. Like they don't see any redemption. Like we were talking about Atrioc the other day. Like the Atrioc thing, I would say, at least at the peak of its apex when it initially came out, probably got more attention than the Illuminati thing did. Like as far as the details.
That's probably because it was a bigger fall from grace.
Well, was it?
Like in the sense that he was considered, he's held much higher. Like people were more
his personality
supportive of Atrioc. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
because of his person. Yes, okay. In that way, yes, because it was a personality channel. Thank you, Labdominos, who says I'm gay. I'm sure you are. Because it was all based on his personality. Yeah. But he was able to come back regardless of that because he showed it was one time. He showed the will to change. And he also like took steps to reverse the damage he contributed to that people were mad at him with, right?
And arguably enough steps, I think. But yes.
I mean, yeah.
But she can't do that. What's she going to do? Come back, give them money?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of it's kind of, even if she did that, I think people would be like, well, I'm glad you did that, but I'm still not watching.
Yeah, but you still took them through like 1 year long lawsuits.
Literally the only way that she'd be able to come back is if every single person who shit on her apologized to her publicly, which why would they do that? That's not going to be a part of the settlement. They're not all going to be like, she's a good person, go watch her videos again. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, and there's certain things that she literally cannot argue against. She cannot argue against the fact that she used the R word before. She can't argue against the fact that she asked.
Which for the R word thing, obviously my audience is like cool with it, but her audience would eat her alive for that. Never mind the whole hypocrisy thing, right?
Yeah, for her audience, that was.
There's nothing people hate more than a hypocrite, undoubtedly.
Yeah, but even since then, like, right, she's accused him of hitting her dog, and she's taken back that accusation. And like these are all things that I think people will never forget, no matter what she does. She will never.
I mean, not only that, but like she's a big like lefty mental health advocate, and then simultaneously she like exposed this guy's mental health history, right, to like discredit him.
Also, it was way I think easier for Atrioc to silence his critics. Right, because he could come back and which is what he did. He came back for months on end. He only streamed, and when you're streaming, you can have an army of moderators, which I'm sure he does, that would immediately remove everything. You know,
I don't even blame him for that, really, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't blame him at all. I think that is the correct way to go around it. But like he put a dam that like, yeah. Now when I truly, and I think this applies to you, and I think this probably applies to most people. When you look at Atrioc, you don't think about the first thing that comes to your mind is not the controversy. Do you think that could ever be the case with Illuminati? I don't think that's possible.
I don't think so. I mean, especially because the thing about Atrioc is his career is not calling people out, right? This is another factor.
Exactly.
Atrioc's career is making videos about fucking. I mean, we can just look at it. Like he has 2 channels, by the way. The Big A channel, in my opinion, is a little more fire than the Atrioc channel right now. But if you look at this, like look at his stuff, it's like this video is about modern dating, speedrunners, GameStop making $3 billion from the kitty guy, Roaring Kitty. I ban everyone who said Glizzy, crypto Shark Tank. Like this is not about calling other people out, really. It's just like fun finance related content. You go to the Big A channel and it's just like general financial kind of life tips and stuff, like talking to chat. Like it's not calling people out. You go to Blair's channel. You know, you go to the Illuminati channel and like, what are the most popular videos on her channel? They're calling out like systemic oppression, institutional issues, the horrors of Autism Speaks, the aftermath of SeaWorld, PETA's ABCs, like when public image no longer matters, like all this shit, like what happened to Jilly Juice is not good. Like it's calling people out. That's what all of her content was.
Yeah, and I think an equivalent for Atrioc would be if it somehow like came out that Atrioc never worked at Nvidia or or Twitch.
If he never
you know,
worked
like
at
he claimed it.
Nvidia, didn't
Yeah.
go to ASU,
Yeah.
and like there's
Then
lies
I
about
don't think
everything.
then I think even his channel, like you said, she removed the not only did she like end her channel for her haters who were already not watching, but she also like did it for people who support her. Like you said, like her audience, if you just line them up, they can't. I don't think they would ever come back.
He's actually live right now. He just started going live.
If I make part 2, there is no coming back from that. And I don't know if I'm ready for that, for me personally. Because it's not bad for me. It's horrendous for Blair. But I don't know if I'm ready to put myself through that yet. But I will if I have to. Bailey Joy with $4.99. Thank you.
So he's live right now. Interesting.
And dude, like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't want to put Blair through this. You are claiming that this is a predatory loan shark that is currently suing you. Why do you have mercy for her? Like,
I mean, I think he's appealing to her humanity.
Yeah.
honestly.
I think
Which
that's
once again, in this situation, I don't blame him for, frankly. I don't, because that's
Yeah,
like, what
I
else
would.
do you do? I don't think he wants to do part 2 at all because he just wants the lawsuit to be over. I don't think it's for
I
Blair's
think
sake.
he
it's
wants
for
to
his
never
sake.
talk about it.
Yeah, I think he thinks
I
fuck
agree.
Blair, but I got to try my best, right?
Yeah. But I think so. If I can finish the video, why don't we finish the video?
Yeah, we're almost at the end.
Harmed on this platform. It would be difficult to return to a platform with a label that you hypocritically participated in the very business tactics that you've reported to be in opposition of for the past 4 years.
So he's going to expose her business. He's going to expose okay.
Everything according to him.
I'm offering you a chance to clear your name on a third-party neutral platform. Think of it as a conversation. Rather than use the corporate tactic of bullying those who speak out against you, why not prove your...
She's not going to do this. There's no fucking way. There's no way. There's no way. She already tried it. And she lied throughout all of it, and then she got owned. There's literally no fucking chance that she's ever going to go for this, bro. There's no chance.
Yeah, I also got word from some of the lawyers. Apparently, the public third-party channel that they chose is youtube.com/turkeytom. Actually, Tom Dark.
Base, dude.
Yeah,
I did hear about that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
verified by True American Patriots. They'll be coming on
Yeah.
soon. Bro, I would if she did agree, I would give my dick for that. That would be an amazing stream.
Oh yeah.
Oh my fucking god, the content would be.
I'm
I'm mad just thinking about what could have been.
Dude, you'd have to Kaizen at it, like have a full like band come in and everything.
Oh, I'd do everything. I'd have a whole set. It'd be beautiful. I would like do makeup for Blair to make her look less gross and shit. Like, I would give her lifts so she looks taller and everything. Like, I would have like wrestling involved. Like, I'd have a band. I would have like concessions. I'd do a live audio. It'd be amazing. It'd be a movie theater. Holy fuck. Cucking me out of the content, Blair. Fuck you.
different from them. You've previously stated that you feel as though you dumb down your language too much and you allow people to fill in the gaps that don't actually exist. So here's your chance. Prove everyone wrong. If you're interested in going the route of proving publicly why you're in the right, to argue for your platform's right to existence, a discussion where all topics would of course need to be known by both parties beforehand. A lawsuit that'll drag on for the next few years will not clear your name like you hope. If anything, it has only further damaged your reputation, Blair, especially because you're suing the two parties who have publicly said the least. And I know you know this. No PR firm in the world could save you if you continue this lawsuit. Even if you did win, from what I've seen, you would just be seen as a bully who abused the legal system. You could also use...
I agree with this assessment, honestly. Like, I think
I agree with this
even if-
assessment, but I don't think she cares.
No, I don't think so either. I think at this point she might be out of the YouTube game or something. I can't
Exactly.
imagine
I
her thinking
think-
she can come back. I think she's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck him over and get the fuck out and figure it out.
I'm gonna fuck him over, get as much money as I can out of this, and close door and find
Yeah,
something.
because
else.
how could she ever think she could recover in the public eye at this point? I feel like there's no way. She just wants to fuck them all up.
I
use
think
this
we'll literally find
opportunity
out
that
by
I
after
would...
tomorrow. But yeah,
What'd you say?
we find out by after tomorrow. That's the deadline he gives her.
We'll find out.
be giving you to take accountability. The rough outline that I'm proposing, and I am open to negotiations on these terms within reason. Plaintiff must dismiss all claims against all parties with prejudice once amicable terms are set forth. Plaintiff and myself will agree on a third party who we both independently trust to host a fair conversation. Their responsibility will be to ensure that each person is not spoken over and is given
It's almost like a blackmail situation. He's like, is it the definition of blackmail? He's like, I will release this unless you do the thing that I want. Not that it's a wrong thing to do. I'm just saying, it's kind of
It's funny.
blackmail.
You could argue that. Yeah. It's not. I don't think it's an invalid argument.
Yeah. I mean, not that I mean, I would do the same.
It's definitely
in his
a form of
position, I would
blackmail.
take this step. If I had fucked up with a loan and everything, and I was in his position, like I would take this step too. Honestly.
Yeah, it's just blackmail out of desperation, but I guess yeah, technically it is.
Yeah.
Change to clear their mind. Plaintiffs may also take this time to take accountability for their actions instead if they wish. Legal fees of either party will not be sought out, and this will be taken for the loss that it is. I can provide no personal guarantee in either circumstance that you, Blair, would be able to repair your public image or reputation. That is up to you. However, I am giving you the opportunity that your lawsuit will most certainly not. I would be open to additional terms being presented within reason. This settlement offer must be accepted, if at all, by a communication in writing delivered to my lawyer not later than the end of office hours June 7th, or it will be withdrawn without further notice. If my lawyer does not receive a response by the end of office hours on June 7th, I will assume that you've declined this offer, and I will proceed as planned with legal proceedings. We are open to negotiations within reason. I am only giving Blair this settlement offer because of the events which have occurred in my private life. If she declines, so be it. I have no qualms with proceeding with part 2.
Well, the question is, do you guys think she's chat? We'll ask chat, okay? Chat, do you think right now Illuminati? Listen, Lex Astro, fucking listen, all you fuckers, Lance, Anthony, in chat. Okay, do you think Illuminati is nervously pacing around her room right now, like part 2, or do you think she's like, fuck it, I'm gonna go through with it? Because I think at this point, even if they show everything about, like, even if part 2 comes out, will her reputation really get worse? Like everybody already thinks she's
they
scum.
show?
It will just be more like lolcow content. Like, chat, what do you guys think? Do you think she's nervously pacing around her room, or do you think she's like, well, I'm already fucked, so I'm gonna keep going? I don't think she's nervously pacing around anything at all. I think there's no chance. She's gonna go.
Well,
band
I don't
for
think
band.
she's paced in a really long time.
Yeah. Yeah, you raise a good point. She needs a Peloton. Thug posting alert based. I don't think she cares. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. It could be an argument, however, it's also a public desperate plea for help. She's a public figure and has a media license, so it gets tricky. Like I said, it depends. What do you mean by media license? What the fuck does that mean? Yeah, bro, I don't think she's fucking worried. She's been worried for years. I don't think she's worried. At this point, she's just going full schizo mode, in my opinion. She's going gorilla mode, legally speaking. I mean, somebody said band for band. It is kind of a band for band thing. She has, undoubtedly more money than they do to keep this going. So.
And also, if she drops everything, it's also a sunken cost thing, right? How much money has she already also spent on top of it, right? So I don't know. It's hard.
Someone says not nervously pacing, but she's way too proud to bow down. I don't even think it's pride. I think it's just like, if you want to be realistic about the situation, is there any way she could come back in the public eye, even if she had a conversation on YouTube? Like, that wouldn't make her look good. She already looks horrible. Like, the commentary channels wouldn't make videos and be like, hey guys, I actually think Blair might be a good person. Like, she's cool. Like, I know about all that stuff she did, but like, she came on YouTube, she dropped the lawsuit. Like, it would just be like, she's still a piece of shit. At least she did that. That would be it. It wouldn't be a game changer, in my opinion. She's in the deep and Oz is trying to swim with that Kraken.
It's insane that Oz got himself stuck in here, though. That's actually an insane situation to be in at 24.
He is so fucked, man.
Yeah,
I feel
regardless
of how retarded he was in some points, like, he seriously fucked himself up, bro. Like, I would be fucking bashing my head through the wall if I was him right now.
Yeah, 2 years ago today, he couldn't afford to pay his mortgage, okay, and then he was saved by a loan. Now, 2 years later, he still has to pay that mortgage. He still has to pay that loan, and he has paid an extra $40,000 in attorney's fees. I don't know how much further he's got.
Yeah.
So I can't blame him for it.
Oh shit! What the fuck is that? Smaggle, fuck off. How does your computer even have the power to run that soundboard, you fucker? What the fuck? All right, Jesus Christ.
All right.